Someone yelled, "Who is that?" while staring at the figure above. "We have no beef with you, so back off," the youth asked. "You're the ones hunting Li Luo, right?" He gritted his teeth and stayed silent. The youth chuckled. "Sorry, but we've been paid to stall you here. We really need to collect those points. Do me a favor and just wait here." Explosions erupted nearby. "Don't take another step forward." Shen Lang waited. Li Luo remained calm. Suddenly, Shen Lang realized something. Where are the other 3 squads? He looked back, thinking, they're late. "How should I put this?" I asked with a smirk. "Did you finally realize your backup isn't showing up on time?" My gaze turned sharp, questioning him directly. "Was that your doing?" "Raising my blade," I replied coolly. "The truth is, I never once underestimated any of you. It just seems like you all underestimated me." I cast a cold calculating glance downward. "Did you really think I only have these looks you envy so much?" Shen Lang gritted his teeth, his jaw tightening with rage. He looked up, eyes burning with fury. "Do you honestly believe that just the 2 of you can defeat our entire battle-ready squad?" Shen Lang declared as a brilliant golden light erupted from his body. "Li Luo, today, I am coming for you." Multiple streams of energy surged toward me as his voice boomed. "I have definitely marked you as my target today." I stood perfectly still as the energy slashed through me. My illusion began to fade away into nothingness. "An illusion?" Shen Lang snarled, gritting his teeth in frustration. "This is getting incredibly annoying." He immediately shouted a warning. "Stay sharp. Don't get separated." Right then, a sudden flash of blue light blinded everyone. Shen Lang shielded his eyes. When he forced them open, I was already there, blade raised, swinging directly at him with lethal intent. He swung his blade, screaming for me to die. But as his steel connected, my image vanished. He gasped, gritting his teeth. Another damn illusion. That blinding light was so intense that everyone had to shield their eyes. The group huddled together as my phantom images appeared everywhere. One of them cried out in total shock. "How is this even possible? How could Ming Meng's illusions reach this level?" Shikong shouted, pointing toward a nearby surface. It was one of my water mirrors reflecting the images. Shikong shielded his eyes while trying to explain the situation. I hung water mirrors everywhere to reflect the illusions Meng Men created. I turned this entire area into a massive, calculated battle formation. He stared at my figure ahead, knowing the real me had to be hiding somewhere in the chaos. The 3 of them unleashed their full power, desperately trying to shatter every image of me charging forward. But as one dissolved, another took its place. At that moment, water began to seep steadily into the soft mud beneath their feet. "Watch your feet," Shen Lang barked. He felt himself sinking and groaned in frustration. "The ground is turning into a total swamp." Shikong was struggling just as much. He gritted his teeth, wondering how I used my water power to liquefy the earth so incredibly fast. All 3 groaned as they sank deeper. Suddenly, a tentacle shot out and dragged one down. He screamed, struggling desperately to get free. "Help!" Shen Lang shouted. "Get out of here, now." One by one, they were enveloped in light and quickly flew away from the trap. I watched them and smiled. "Too late," I said. The wall of power kept expanding, showing no signs of stopping at all. A cry of pain rang out. I gripped my blade, taking them down one by one. I smiled to myself. The counterattack is about to begin. I remained perfectly calm. One of my opponents staggered back, coughing up a mouthful of bright red blood from the impact. Suddenly, a figure closed in fast from behind me. Shi Kang gripped his long spear tightly and charged forward with everything he had. I instantly summoned a tentacle to block the incoming strike. With a sudden whip-like motion, the appendage lashed out, sending Shi Kang flying backward. He gritted his teeth, thinking back. Before, I only lost to him by a single arrow, but now he is completely overwhelming me. Shi Kang saw me charging and realized he was finished. He retreated, knowing if he fell, Shen Lang was alone. Shi Kang glanced at the butterflies fluttering nearby, his eyes widening as a sudden realization hit him. Butterflies, Shi Kang yelled, his eyes nearly popping out of his head. Wait, that is not right. He saw Ming Meng, and froze. It is Bai Meng. I rushed up, fist clenched. Stop staring. She is on my team. Your team is nothing but a bunch of smelly foot losers. I landed a massive punch, triggering a violent bone-shaking explosion. I stood there with my hands on my hips. You failed again, I declared. No worries, though. Just try harder next time. I stood silently for a moment. Then, I turned my gaze toward Shen Lang, asserting my dominance. Shen Lang, you are the only one left. Shen Lang flinched as I continued. I heard you really enjoy using superior numbers to bully your opponents. I grinned widely. Funny thing is, I happen to like it too. Shen Lang gritted his teeth, reeling that in 10 minutes, his squad was gone. He clenched his jaw and growled, Li Luo, you really are quite impressive. Shen Lang stared me down and shouted, but if you want me to truly respect you, then come over here and defeat me one-on-one. I looked back at him and shrugged. Whether you respect me or not is really none of my business, is it? If you actually respected me, would that get me some extra medals or something? He activated his gold energy, a bright radiance erupting as he roared. Are you kidding me? I glowed with blue light, muttering, guess not. That gold power brings back memories, I thought. Then, the two of us immediately charged at each other with everything we had. Under the force of 2 massive energy blasts, everything exploded. The two of them kept striking each other without stopping. Shen Lang cursed under his breath. Damn it, my power level is clearly higher than his by a full rank, but I do not feel any advantage at all. He gritted his teeth and thought, if this keeps up, my strength will be totally exhausted before he is. Then Shen Lang raised his sword to use his special technique, the Chaos Wind Gold Blade. Li Luo raised his blade too, unleashing the Twin Fish Spirit technique. A bright golden light surged forward, slamming directly into the blue light he had created. Shen Lang gritted his teeth, thinking he could not break through that wall of water no matter how hard he tried. He is pushing me to the limit using only water power. Li Luo is incredibly strong. Li Luo suddenly laughed and said, Stop getting distracted or you will regret it. He frowned, thinking that 36 ways to run was his best bet. This is not good. I am out of energy and need to retreat fast. Suddenly, Li Luo slashed past Shen Lang and whispered, It is too late now. Blood sprayed across his face. Shen Lang's grip on his blade loosened as he recoiled in shock. His sword hit the ground and he screamed out in agony. He let out a yell and started running away. Damn it. Li Luo turned around and asked with a grin, So you want to run? Shen Lang looked at the butterflies swarming around him in confusion. What is this? He gasped, staring at the butterflies. Suddenly, a sword tip was pressed against his throat. He froze and stared straight ahead in total shock. Man pointed her blade at Shen Lang and asked, If you run away, who are we supposed to collect those badges from? Shen Lang closed his eyes and finally surrendered. Forget it. Just forget it. Then, Shenlang immediately sat down, cross-legged on the ground. Li Luo ran over and teased him. Is that all? It looks like you have some serious stamina issues. He snapped back angrily. You are the one who is weird. Your power level is lower than mine, yet you are still stronger. Li Luo snorted at that. Of course I am. I have dual natures after all, he thought to himself. But if I go head-to-head with guys like Lu and He Jiu, it might get difficult. My wood-earth power is only at the 5th rank, which is still a bit low. After these rankings end, I should upgrade it to the 6th rank. Li Luo asked him, Are you waiting for that Heavenly Blade squad to show up? Shenlang closed his eyes and asked a question back. Why not, even if I get eliminated? Seeing you annoyed still makes me feel a little bit better inside. Suddenly, a group of people ran up from behind. He turned around to look at them. Zhao Kuo called out to Brother Luo with a grin. Li Luo laughed and teased him. So how was it? Do you feel satisfied now? Shenlang sighed and lowered his head. It looks like you ruined all my plans. Li Luo, you won this one. Then someone else walked over to ask, Brother Luo, is everything finished on your side? He answered quickly, Yeah. Zhao Kuo gasped in shock. That is absolutely incredible. You two managed to take out their whole team. Li Luo smiled and said, Looks like you guys finished your job too. He looked down sadly and said, I am sorry. This was my fault. I almost put you in a very dangerous situation. Li Luo put his arm around his shoulder to comfort him. We are brothers. Why are you even saying that? If it was not for you guys, I might have been tricked by them myself. He turned his head back and asked, Wait, where is Stone Pot? Jia Hua stepped forward and coldly told him not to call him Stone Pot. Li Luo grinned and said, Thanks for the help. Stone Pot was just meant to be backup, but he ended up being a huge help. Jia Hua pointed toward the people behind him. Stop the small talk and pay up. I promised every single team that they would get a golden badge for helping us out. Li Luo's face went stiff as he cursed under his breath. You are something else. Stone Pot, I asked you to find some backup, but your price is insane. He looked at him angrily and asked, You are not backing out. He had no choice but to toss the badges toward them and said, Here, just take them. The crowd quickly started to leave, but they did not forget to say, Next time you have a deal like this, call us. Jia Hua saw Li Luo standing there with his arms crossed, staring directly at him. He panicked, thinking the guy might rob him. He suddenly teleported away and said, I am done here. See you later. Li Luo grinned and said, Thanks. Come find me if you need anything in the future. But remember, I will charge a fee. Jia Hua kept walking and refused. No way. I cannot afford to hire you. Li Luo looked at the badges he took from Shenlang's team and sighed. He muttered to himself, This is unbelievable. I actually lost money on this. Zhao Kuo heard him and said, We managed to get over 400 points. Let us give you some to help out. Li Luo closed his eyes and refused. There is no need. You guys worked hard for those points. Shenlang laughed and said, It seems our points are not even worth what you spent. Li Luo's face darkened as he replied, That is not the right way to look at it. Handling you just makes it easier to deal with. He Jiu and his group later. Once we take down the Golden Gate squad, I am not worried about having enough points. Shenlang refused to back down, firing back. In the end, it was anyone's game. Li Luo turned on his heel to leave, tossing one last insult. None of this concerns you anyway. This is the end for you, he roared. Li Luo just smirked and whispered, The small fry are handled. He straightened his collar and let out a sharp laugh. Time for the main course. As the ranking match neared its end, 5 pillars of violet light suddenly pierced the sky. Du Zu's team claimed the violet beam, while He Jiu's took green. Eliza's squad held the gold, and Julu's team glowed deep crimson. Finally, the blue pillar rose, belonging to Li Luo and his justice squad. High above, a voice sighed, "The real show is starting." Cao Sheng watched the beams and noted how those two gold-ranked teams were so close together. Chuan quickly chimed in. "That is Zhu Lu and Eliza. Looks like those two violet ranks are headed for a clash." Chuz, I could not help but sigh at the news. Eliza's luck just ran out, it seems. Cao Sheng shook his head. "You are too humble. Julu carries his team alone, but Eliza's trio is balanced. It is anyone's game. The other squads are keeping their distance. But given the blood between Justice and the Golden Gate, a collision is inevitable." Jin Zhao asked. "Got any wine to spare?" Cao Sheng held out his flask. Jin Zhao took it with a grin and a quick thanks. "Good wine for a good show." "That is how it should be," Sichuan said with a smile. "They are putting on quite a show. What if they cannot stop?" Suddenly, fireworks burst, spelling out words in the sky. Cao Sheng chuckled. "Looks like the top spot in the 3-star academy goes to Jing King and her Black Swan squad again," he added with a grin. "I heard King is finally challenging the 7-star pillars this year." Jin Zhao turned away as the voices faded. "If she succeeds, she will shatter every record on the books." True. That would make her the youngest student to ever claim the 7-star title. A 9th-grade light general. She is the real deal. Jin Zhao's eyes flashed red as he realized the wine was not half bad. He stared at the sky in silence. Jin Zhao looked down, hoping they could preserve this final taste of victory. The sky remained clear as a single pillar of brilliant light shot straight into the heavens, where two girls stood in deep debate. "We currently have two choices. Hunt down the one-leaf squad, or raid the remaining gold-ranked teams," the other girl whispered back. "Honestly, taking out the gold-ranked teams now is the safest play we have." Chinga tilted her head toward her leader. "Captain, what do you think?" Julu gritted his teeth, his expression darkening. "Hunting gold teams is boring. No challenge at all." Duan, you looked puzzled. "We just need the points. Does it really matter if it is fun or not?" Julu remained stubborn. "No. I cannot let them go. They are actively challenging me." Ching frowned, tired of his attitude. "When exactly did they challenge us?" she asked. Julu stood his ground, fueled by pride. "They are practically on top of us. If that is not a challenge, what is?" Silence fell over the group. Scanning the vast, green forest, Yulang looked bored. "Seems like nobody is brave enough to mess with our Windrider squad. How dull." He turned to Dodo. "Captain, let's team up with Li Luo and take down that poisonous bird." She closed her eyes, unmoved. 2 against 1. Where is the honor in that? Yulang felt the frustration rising. "I am just worried He Jiu's group might hurt Meng Meng." Dodo's gaze remained cold and steady. "If she is hurt, I will settle the score later. Right now, Li Luo does not want us interfering." He scoffed internally. If you actually left, he would probably throw a parade to celebrate. But he simply asked, "Then what?" Standing before the massive light pillars, her voice remained flat and calm. "We hunt gold teams for points. You can also channel your power into the beam to write in the sky. Why not give it a shot?" Yulang looked confused and anxious. "You really want me to do it?" Dodo looked serious. "Neither Q Luo nor I are any good at this." Q Luo nodded in silent agreement. Suddenly, Yulang radiated a dangerous confidence. Fine. I guess it is time. I showed you both what I am made of. He raised his hand, unleashing his power. Watch and learn. Dodo stared, her eyes widening in pure shock. Her mind screamed. Suddenly, she regretted everything. The pillar surged with massive power, glowing with a terrifying intensity. The two pillars of light representing Li Luo and He Jiu's squads moved quickly, inevitably closing in until they finally slammed into each other with force. Both rival factions stood proud, golden beams of light towering directly over their heads as they faced off. He Jiu looked on with pure disdain. This setting is not bad at all. Tasting your very first defeat right here might actually make it a bit easier for you to swallow, right? Li Luo shot back with a smirk. Usually, when a villain starts gloating like this, the tables turn pretty fast. That comment only served to fuel his rival's deep and bitter contempt. Do you really think you are the main character? Hearing that, Meng chimed in innocently. At the very least, our captain definitely has the looks of a leading man. He Jiu looked absolutely disgusted. Are all you girls really that shallow and obsessed with looks? What good is a handsome face in a fight? Behind him, Beijuan's combat energy was already boiling. Cut the small talk. Li Luo, it is time for you to settle your debt from the exam. He noticed something truly surprising. Life pattern stage. His lips curled into a dangerous smirk. Li Luo, we have two first-tier experts here. You are going to get absolutely crushed by us. Now, standing before Li Luo were figures shrouded in pure power, offering a deal that felt anything but sincere. I suggest you just hand over that medal right now and save everyone some precious time. He gritted his teeth in tension. Meng backed away, following the plan and moving into position. He fell deep into thought, quietly calculating his moves. Xin Fu had to wait for an opening, and Meng could not be exposed at the front line. That meant I had to be the one standing in front of him. Suddenly, she screamed out, "Captain, watch out!" Li Luo charged forward, his power surging as he closed the distance. Let us go. He Jiu stayed arrogant, watching him approach. He really does not know his own limits. Just like that, he was knocked backward by a relentless barrage of their combined attacks. Dr. watched the scene unfold with intense focus. Li Luo is being completely suppressed out there. He Jiu and Beijuan were hot on his heels, showing zero intention of giving Li Luo a moment to breathe. Amidst the rising clouds of dust and chaos, he struggled to counter their aggressive advances. While Li Luo was desperately fighting to hold his ground, He Jiu suddenly materialized right behind him. Just as he turned his head in shock, a weapon was already poised to strike. An opening. Xin Fu, wreathed in dark energy, was right there behind him, ready to launch an attack. He scrambled to defend against the incoming blow, ignoring the clash still brewing between Li Luo and Beijuan. Then, Xin Fu vanished, like thin mist, slowly fading away. He Jiu gritted his teeth and looked back. How annoying. He frowned in frustration. This guy keeps blocking our strikes. Without a moment of hesitation, he jumped back into the fray with Beijuan to double-team him. Forget it. Let us just finish Li Luo first. Luo's eye stood watching the intense battle, her powerful energy surging as a faint smirk touched her lips. Moments later, Luo's eye leaned down and pressed her hands to the earth to cast a spell, causing vines to spread rapidly across the ground. However, they did not get far before a barrier stopped them cold. She looked up in pure shock. Meng? She remained perfectly calm and spoke up. Our captain is under enough pressure. Do not go making things any harder for him. Amidst a flurry of energy and shimmering butterflies, Luo's eye raised her voice with arrogance. You really think you can stop me? With your current level of strength, you do not stand a chance against me in a fight. Meng Meng replied in her usual gentle tone. That is fine. If you hit me, my older sister will just hit you back later. Her expression turned ice cold. If that is the case, I will have to find out. Without another word, Vines lunged toward Meng Meng. But she vanished into an afterimage before they could even touch her. Luo's eye gritted her teeth in frustration. It was just an illusion. Now, she found herself surrounded by a beautiful circle of butterfly energy. Meng Meng's voice echoed softly through the area. I might not be able to defeat you, but as long as I can stall for time, my mission is accomplished. Luo's eye curled her lip in a mocking smirk. Well then, let us see who lasts longer. You, or your struggling captain, Li Luo. Meng Meng remained firm in her belief. The captain always said that his greatest strength was his incredible stamina. For some reason, Luo's eyes suddenly exploded with rage and screamed at the top of her lungs. That rogue, Li Luo. That sudden outburst left Meng Meng completely baffled. While the brutal and fierce battle nearby continued to rage on, Li Luo reached out to activate his power. Water Light Magic Mirror. He Jiu did not flinch, letting out a cold snort as he thrust his energized fan forward. Just a minor trick. He struck down with such force that the ground shattered, leaving the boy to dodge the flying debris. Li Luo gritted his teeth, feeling the pressure mount. Damn it, I am barely holding on. Thankfully, I have my water light and wood resonances. He pictured the three sources of power clashing. If he took a hit, the healing properties of these three combined forces would quickly mend his wounds. Without them, I would not even be able to endure this grueling fight against these two opponents. He Jiu was feeling triumphant, convinced his enemy was at his limit. But Beijuan remained deadly serious. We need to keep ramping up the pressure. Both of them charged forward once more to finish him off. Li Luo channeled two opposing primal forces around his body. The energy erupted like a violent cyclone, slamming into the two enemies charging toward him. General Arts, Thousand Tree Embrace, and Heavy Water. Beijuan hissed through his teeth. Li Luo was actually fusing these arts together. He Jiu smiled in admiration. Being a dual soul user is impressive, but that fusion technique is something else entirely. Their combined spirit energy is massive. But did you honestly think we came here without any preparation? Poison Swarm and Mad Howl. That terrifying wave of dark energy surged directly at Li Luo. His brow furrowed. He never expected them to synchronize two different general arts like that. Shinfu, can you hold them off for me for a bit? I can only block once. After that, I am out of strength. You sure you can handle the rest on your own? Li Luo nodded with grim determination. Yeah, Shinfu responded. His body erupted with a massive surge of dark energy, quickly swallowing the entire surrounding space. Shinfu whispered, Shadow Tomb. The two forces collided, sending out ripples of sound and toxic gas. The blast hit the expanding darkness. Low, guttural sounds of tearing energy echoed within the black void. He Jiu exhaled a blast of pressure. Shinfu's teeth ground together as the first cracks appeared. Suddenly, the dark barrier shattered into 100 pieces. The explosion sent him flying. Shinfu hit the ground hard, then quickly sat up. Bloody but smiling, Shinfu looked up expectantly. Now, show them what you can really do. The battlefield vanished in a roar of dust. As the two teams clashed, a group of figures watched from a distant wall. Floating monitors hovered above the forest nearby. A crowd watched with interest. These were the elite 4-star students. The strongest in the St. Astral Academy. They looked at the glowing displays with faint smiles. As they chatted, someone approached. A student noticed the movement and turned around. Zheng King arrived, radiating power. The student gasped, "Senior Zhang." She turned to hear her name. "Senior Zhang Luan." You spoke softly. Finishing your ranking match so early was truly up. The two powerful women stood before the bright display screens. King replied humbly, "Just luck. We didn't face any top teams, so it ended early." Luan Yu's eyes narrowed. "I thought you were just rushing here to check on the Star Academy." King didn't deny it. She looked up, wanting to see how Li Luo was doing. Luan Yu's voice carried a hint of mischief. "You really do care about him, don't you?" King stayed calm. Then she asked, "Will you be challenging the 7-star pillars this year, senior?" "Yes," she confirmed instantly. Luan Yu's gaze sharpened. "That would be a record-breaking move. But you won't pick me as an opponent, right?" King turned to face Luan. One should always pick the low-hanging fruit first." "You don't look that way, Your Highness." "Luan," you winked playfully. "Then I can relax." But King's eyes suddenly turned cold. Nearby, people cheered. The Divine Lord is looking at King, and she's looking back. They locked eyes. He gave a slight nod and a smile as a greeting. Then, he walked toward the displays. "Luan, you teased her. My royal brother seems very interested in you, Senior Zhang." King looked serious. "Friends are fine. But if he crosses the line, it is over." Luan Yu smirked and asked, "How do you think things will go for Li Luo?" "He's lost a teammate. It looks bad," King replied with confidence. "Don't underestimate him. Until the match is over, nothing he does should be considered a surprise." Luan Yu was surprised. "A bit of pride, I see." She looked up too. "Is that right, Luan? You saw him as a mystery. I will have to see. What miracle would happen today?" The blue sky stretched over the lush forest. On the ledge, the dust remained. Xin Fu was exhausted. He Jiu laughed. "Li Luo, you're down a man. How will you win?" Li Luo just smirked. "Know what? Clutching a victory from the jaws of defeat is what a protagonist does." The enemy laughed. "Still dreaming. This is St. Astral Academy, not your old family manor anymore." LSLC nonchalantly closed his eyes. "You clearly do not believe me." A split second later, a dangerous glint sparked in his eyes. "Then let me tell you the second trait of a main character. They love achieving a breakthrough mid-battle." Surging spiritual energy began to swirl around LSLCC. He stood tall, bathed in the fierce flow of divine water surrounding his body. The high-level cultivation state revealed itself. "Do you believe me now?" HCCCS sneered. "You have quite the nerve. Aren't you afraid your own seat of power will explode?" LSLC replied calmly. "Well, it hasn't exploded yet, has it?" BSE Heian spoke up. "Stop wasting energy on him and finish this now." Then, he focused his strength for the final clash. Gathering energy, his body radiated a mystical green flame, a stunning blend of blue and emerald. As the two blades collided, a white light flashed. The sword of LSLC had been upgraded to a whole new level. His eyes were full of confidence as an X mark was drawn in the air. LSLCC was the one behind that sharp strike. BSE Heian, an HCCCA, stared in shock. He stammered, saying that the intensity of that resonance power had just surpassed the first rank. BSE Heian hissed. "It is dual power, but he definitely cannot fire it twice." They had no time for talk. LSLCC was already charging toward them like a fierce, wild beast. HCCQ, snapped. You and your big mouth? Then they both screamed, Charge! Multicolored spiritual energies surged recklessly across the Grand Mountain peaks and through the massive, ancient valley. A single strike from LSLCC successfully forced BSC High-End to retreat. He said angrily, How is he suppressing both of us? Why is dual resonance so hard to predict? He cannot do it thrice. Seeing him fail to walk the talk, HCCQ yelled furiously, Stop being a jinx and just pull back for now. Once he drops out of this state, he'll be defenseless. BSC Hun agreed with the plan. Fine, let's get out of here. With that, they both bolted like frightened rabbits. But they didn't get far before being forced to a sudden halt. Dark purple mist surrounded them completely. BC Hyan gasped in panic. Oh no, it is a spiritual trap. He struggled to speak. Captain, I have absolutely nothing left in the tank. Bessie Hyan scanned the area, realized the situation, and yelled in a total panic. Damn it. It is a formation. A thorny vine moved silently and swiftly from out of nowhere. It wrapped perfectly around his leg. HCC Kiyu tried to calm BSC Hyan, but then he screamed a terrifying warning. It is La Ti. Those vines were whipping BSC Hyan around like he was a rat. HCCQ shouted out a command. Retreat now. He turned around only to see a deep purple void. He asked in surprise, What on earth is this? Thinking for 3 seconds, HCCCA realized. It is an illusion from Man. She is trying to pin us down here. Just then, another figure appeared behind him. Emerald light radiated out everywhere as a massive tree manifested, and there, right in the center of the branches, stood a very familiar silhouette. HCCCA turned pale as he realized something terrifying. He turned to look at the tree as a scary thought crept in. This is a tree resonance technique. How did it grow so fast? HCCCA wondered what he was planning. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted from the center of the tree. He gasped. It is dual resonance. The leaves began to fall from the branches, gathering toward the center of the light. The light from the tree grew even more blinding. LSLCC smiled as he grabbed the arrow. He thought to himself that his dual resonance would finally be stable. But the power was too much. His bow couldn't take it. Looks like my gear needs an upgrade. Seeing LSLCC grow stronger, HCCCA and BSC Hyan were frozen in place. He gritted his teeth. We are being pushed this far. There is no choice. HCCCA screamed. Use our secret weapon now, or we will never get another chance. La Ti frowned and agreed. Fine. A crude, heavy cannon suddenly appeared before them. HCC jumped on top, pouring his energy into it. La Ti panicked and screamed, Stop. Do not add any more. The cannon cannot handle it. HCCQ remained stubborn. Just hold on a little bit longer. BSC Hohan focused his full strength and shoved that massive energy into the cannon. The heavy artillery was finally ready to fire. LSLC's eyes sparked with pure interest. A combo skill. That is actually quite creative. He pulled his bow, and the arrows shot out, quickly clashing with their massive cannon blast. In an instant, LSLCZ's arrow completely overwhelmed their attack and tore straight through everything. La Ti was stunned. How BSC Hun was our combined technique really destroyed that is. The arrow seemed to gain even more speed, slamming into the group and causing a massive shockwave. They were all terrified and amazed. Dual resonance is just too overpowered. LSLC looked exhausted now, leaning back against a large rock for support. He felt his energy was completely gone. The others were still struggling through the thick, choking dust and smoke. HCCC seized the moment and shouted orders. He is drained. Let's get out of here now. LSLCC only gave a cold smirk. Even if Shinfu and I are out of the fight, did you forget? Our team has 3 people. As she spoke, a swarm of butterflies fluttered out. They swirled around, He Jiu, as Man gave the bashful smile of a girl next door, saying, "Just hand over the badges yourselves. My hands shake when I fight. It would be a shame if I accidentally hit a vital spot and killed you." Terrified, the group handed over their badges. She accepted them with a happy, shy smile, whispering a soft thank you. As the results of the battle became clear, the 4-star Academy students watching were struck with a heavy sense of shock. The dual resonance power Li Luo just unleashed was truly stunning, Luo Lan whispered in total admiration. Junior Jiang, this miracle of a match has left everyone in absolute awe. Seeing dual resonances before the Duke stage is a first for me. Hearing this, Nga replied calmly. Li Luo carries the blood of my master and mistress. With parents that brilliant, how could he ever be ordinary? Luo Lan pondered, rubbing her chin. So Li Luo has water and wood resonances? Then, she decided to reveal a deeply buried secret. Junior Jiang, you probably know the king was born with a congenital defect. A great master once suggested trying powers like water, light, or wood. Upon hearing those words, Nga immediately understood and asked, "So your highness wants Li Luo to treat the king?" Luo Lan hesitated, then spoke with conviction. "It sounds absurd, but I won't ignore any potential hope." A moment later, she gently patted her hand to offer some comfort. "Do not worry, Jengra, regardless of the outcome. The royal court will not place any blame on him." Luo Lan sounded desperate, her voice trembling. "Just see this as the final, desperate act of a sister who has run out of options." Faced with the princess's request, Nga was ready to help. "Since your highness asked, we will certainly do our best. Just do not get your hopes up. Li Luo is still only in the resonant master stage." Seeing her agree, she beamed with sincere gratitude. "Then I must thank you both, Junior Jiang and Junior Li Luo, in advance." Just then, Shenjun spoke up cheerfully, "Congratulations to you, Junior Jiang. Not only did the ranking battle end early, but Li Luo successfully defeated a powerful enemy." He asked curiously as Luo Lan smiled. "What were you two discussing?" Luo Lan gave a simple explanation with a hidden meaning. "Oh, nothing much. I just invited Li Luo to attempt a treatment for the king." Shenjun looked surprised and froze for a moment, then finally nodded. "Is that so? It is worth a shot." Shenjun gave a polite farewell and turned to leave. "Junior Jiang, I hear the Umbra Cave opens this year. If there is a chance, let us collaborate. I must go now." Nga promised softly, "Your Highness, I will be taking my leave as well. I will talk to Li Luo about the king's situation. If there are no problems, we will find a time to test it out." Luo Lan said her goodbyes. Watching Nga walk away, she thought worriedly that if Shen Jun really tried to take her, the future would become very messy. "Li Luo, you had better hold on to her tightly." As Li Luo's fight finished, the other battles were also wrapping up. Over there, Than Ni was struggling, gasping for breath in her own duel. The moment the chains binding her snapped, Than Ni flashed a confident grin, claiming her victory. "Classmate Thursday Jin, it looks like I have won this round." "Trapped in ice," Thursday Din shouted back fiercely. "If it were night, I would not lose to you." Than Ni acknowledged her opponent was strong, but her own confidence remained unshaken. Jiu Lu is powerful, but Eliza and Tian the fighting together might not actually lose. She looked ahead anxiously, wondering how things were going for Jiu Lu. Jiu Lu stepped out with great momentum, carrying a bag of items in his hand. He shouted and tossed a treasure bag to Than Ni, telling her to take the badges. Then, he excitedly wiped blood from his lip. Standing among the trees, he let out a joyful roar of satisfaction, sending the birds perched on the branches fluttering away in terror. On another battlefield, 3 people were moving, using their powers. Ngulang grumbled in frustration. This group is going too far. Why are there so many of them? Have they no shame? The pursuers behind them caught up quickly, shouting with excitement. Kill Ngulang! Kill Ngulang! Kill Ngulang! Dudo ran ahead, her eyes widening as she saw something. She slammed on the brakes. Seeing the cliff below, she groaned, there is no way out. Cal Luo saw this and immediately made a suggestion. Why don't we just hand him over? They cannot actually kill him. At most, you will just get a beating. Ngulang barked back, completely outraged. Do you have any humanity? Don't I have any pride? Seeing them argue, she barked out a command. Stop arguing, and get ready for a final charge. Suddenly Ngulang looked ahead and gasped. Look, he signaled. The sun is setting. The heavy tension in everyone's bodies slowly began to fade away. Ngulang and Cao Lak breathed sighs of relief, while Du Tao looked quite regretful. After it ended, Ngulang happily invited everyone for drinks, saying they were friends now. He draped an arm over to students and showered them with compliments. You guys are the real deal. Chasing that elite team across the mountains, you have a big future ahead of you. One of them asked a friendly question in surprise, noting the elite purple squad has plenty to fear. By the way, what is your name? Ngulang grinned like a blooming flower and answered. My name is Cao Lak. The sun finally dipped below the horizon, marking the end of the very first ranking match. High above the battlefield, the 5 elite mentors gazed out over the vast forest. They had witnessed every single intense moment of the struggle with their own eyes. Kim Tu watched from a distance, his face unreadable. Even the fine wine in his hand seemed to have lost its flavor. Hai Thaion stood beside him in silence, stealing a quick glance. A moment later, she spoke up softly, thanking mentor Kim Tu for his investment in Li Luo. He accepted the result with regret. Losing to dual resonance power was no shame. Dao Than was suddenly intrigued, noting that Li Luo was quite fascinating. His dual resonance power was unstable, and theoretically, shouldn't have beaten that 3-man team. However, that clever trick of turning wood into soldiers was something absolutely no one could have predicted. Mentor Dini could not stop praising the performance. Using water resonance to fuel the wood element caused the trees to grow at incredible speeds. A basic technique like that ended up being surprisingly effective in the end. He paused to reflect, realizing that Li Luo's strength likely put him at the very top of the freshman class. I wonder which of them is truly stronger, him or Truckloak. Soda burst out laughing, noting that most people simply cannot handle that guy's raw aggression. A fight. Then, he immediately pointed out a major flaw. While Li Luo's wood-heart arrow is impressive, it might not be a lethal threat to someone like Truckloak. His limitations are still quite obvious. As the mentors continued their discussion, the new students began to gather near the entrance of the arena. Once all the teams had assembled under the watchful gaze of the crowd, Mentor Hai Thaion stepped forward. She spoke seriously, declaring that the first freshman ranking match had officially come to an end. No matter the results, you all fought until the very last second. Your hard work deserves recognition. Hearing this, everyone flashed a happy smile. A massive wave of resonance power erupted from Mentor height, forming a giant screen of light high up in the air. The screen displayed thousands of team names, along with their points and rankings. The students stared in total shock as she announced the achievements one by one. Coming in fifth, the Nat Deep Thursday squad with 20 to 100 points. In fifth place, the Kim Mon squad with 2,300. Fourth is Fong Kai at 3,900. Then, second place goes to Than Nu Jet with 5,200 points. Finally, Hai Thaian loudly announced the first place winner. The Justice Squad took the top spot with 5,300 points. Man cheered with pure excitement, shouting, "Long live the captain." Meanwhile, Truckloak stood there, completely stunned by the final results. He sat and thought for a long time before whispering Li Luo's name. Then, he muttered something that shocked Than Ni. "He really makes me hungry." A moment later, seeing her anger, he quickly explained that he meant he wanted to fight against that unique duel. Resonance? Than Ni puffed her cheeks out, sighing in frustration. Dealing with that big duck is already exhausting. Do you really want to start more trouble? I have ways to handle a lost deer like you. There are many ways to humble a stubborn fool like you. Just then, the sky exploded with the brilliant colors of a massive fireworks display. Watch out, or I will have someone draw you as a girl and post it all over the academy. Looking at the radiant scene, Man shouted about how beautiful it was. It is so pretty. Now the whole academy knows about our Justice Squad. Li Luo stood nearby, thinking that all of this was actually quite pointless. It only serves to satisfy the vanity of the students for a moment. There is no practical benefit here, so I give it a low rating. Tan Fu nodded, agreeing that he also disliked showing off like this in public. A moment later, he let out a huge yawn and said something that left Tan Fu completely frozen. The problem is these fireworks are way too small. They should be big enough for everyone in the great Xia capital to see them. Seeing his judgmental stare, Li Luo asked why he was looking at him. Tan Fu could only think to himself that he had overestimated his captain. No, Captain, I overestimated you. You are still as shallow as ever. Just then, fireworks also rose from the Second Star Academy arena. It was clear that the Fire Fairy squad was the top team for the Second Star Academy this time around. Over at the Third Star Academy, it was no surprise that the Black Swan squad won. The seniors in the Fourth Star Academy did not even need to compete. Finally, Hai Thaian pulls out a scroll. She announces an incredible and tempting prize. The results are in. This time, the winning team receives the 12 silk brocade. This high-level energy technique is worth 3,000 points at the academy. Seeing the prize, Li Luo's eyes immediately begin to sparkle like the bright stars. Man warns him about his drool. Li Luo coughs and quickly returns to a serious state. As H. Thaion presents the prize, she adds a very serious reminder. Only one of you can learn this technique. The other two will receive 3,000 points. He bows deeply and offers his thanks. Then, Li Luo flashes a wide grin. Actually, I mainly have Shen to thank for this. A terrifying aura cuts him off. Li Luo looks up. He's in a hurry. Being a purple glow mentor gives Kim Tu plenty of reasons to hate him. But his status also ties his hands. Now, he can only glare in silence. Sensing the tension, H. Thaion glances over. She tells Kim Tu to back off. Li Luo clears his throat once again. He keeps a straight face while speaking loudly. Next, Li Luo looks like he just found gold. Expressing his sincere happiness with every word he says. I must thank Mentor Kim Tu for reaching into his own pocket to provide these benefits for the students. So, I want to say one sincere thing to our mentor. He turns to the students and shouts a slogan for them to follow. Please, everyone, keep giving it your all. Do not stop. 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 I will never forget Kim Jiu's incredible generosity. Truly, it is inspiring. I hope Kim Jiu continues to encourage us like this. It is not about how many points we get, but the deeper meaning behind the encouragement. I even have a name for this. He pauses for a moment, and then shouts excitedly. The Kim Jiu plan. I wonder if our mentor can satisfy the small requests of us new students. Li Luo spoke with a hidden meaning. Kim Jiu grinds his teeth, swallowing his rage. He finally speaks with effort. Your idea is interesting, but this is not a small decision. I will discuss this with Dean Tutam before giving you an answer. Safe travels, mentor. From now on, I will be sure to check on the progress of your Kim Jiu plan very often. Night falls, and the energy of the battle fades under the full moon. He gazes at the sky. Another Mid-Autumn festival has finally arrived. It is a night for family. Suddenly, a soft voice calls his name. You guys, won. It is a holiday. Want to go celebrate? Mid-Autumn festival. You are right. He grabs his friends and yells out, Zhao Kuo, let's give them a chance to buy the champions dinner. Li Luo thinks of his family. He makes a silent, solemn promise. Mom, Dad, I will reach the Duke realm soon. Then, I will come and find you both. Deep in the silent night, a building looms through the thick mist at the Luo Lan headquarters. A mysterious man steps inside, using a stealth technique to vanish right before the guard's eyes. An assassin uses dark energy to vanish, slipping right past the guards. He smirks. Without the masters here, this Luo Lan mansion is truly useless and completely defenseless against us. Inside the kitchen, Boo Boo finished cooking and stepped into the hall. He sighs in frustration. Those two idiots really left me all alone. He rubs his bald head, complaining about being stuck as a babysitter. I am so unlucky. Then, he senses a sudden wave of bloodlust. He reaches for his blade, still grumbling about the extra work. I am not a watchdog. The assassin steps slowly into the light. The intruder stops dead in his tracks as he sees the man. He realizes there is a hidden master here. Boo Boo prepares to fight. I told you, trash, to stay away. You keep coming back every festival to scout us. Do you really dare to enter this place again? Instead of letting him answer, he continued with the sarcasm. Low-life scum, creeping around, too scared to even show their own footsteps. Just like rats stealing food from a kitchen. Seeing this, he asked with deep curiosity. You have been hiding in the Luo Lan house headquarters for all these years, without showing face. Why is that? I am truly curious. Boo Boo replied calmly. Luo Lan house was just a training ground for those two young ones. Success or failure doesn't matter. Then, he asked sternly, I want to know, why are you people keeping such a close eye on us? Immediately, the assassin sneered back. Why play dumb? Who wouldn't want to know the secrets left by Taiju and Dailam? He smiled, tempting with sweet words. There is no future in guarding this place. Join us instead, and your potential will far exceed what you have now. Hearing this, Boo Boo set his conditions clearly. Fine, I will join. But first, tell me who you really work for in the Great Shia. He wasn't foolish enough to talk, offering a deal instead. If you reveal the secrets left by Taijuan Dailam, I will personally lead you into our ranks. He exploded with a curse. If that is how it is, go to hell. Seeing that talking was finally over, the assassin prepared a deadly strike. Channeling dark purple energy, he decided to strike. Let me see what you have got. The assassin attacked, mocking him. How much skill does this family dog actually have? Boo gathered his energy, questioning him with pure and utter confusion. Since when? He corrected him sternly. Does a mere fourth-rank noble dare to raise their voice at me? A strange feeling hit. He gasped in shock. This is... The assassin stared into 3 terrifying eyes. A giant demonic shadow appeared. Suddenly, a bright red light pierced through everything like a needle. Boo moved past him as fast as a summer breeze. He sliced a soul in 2. The assassin stood frozen, his body splitting right down the middle. He thought, that blade light. He was dazed by the fierce power. Seconds later, his body exploded into pieces. The assassin muttered his final, bored words. How dull. A killer blade like this hasn't appeared in the Great Xia for a century. I can't believe Taijuan Dailam could recruit a monster like you. Fading away, he felt a surge of doubt. But the stronger you are, the more curious we become about the secrets they left. Boo, you cannot keep it forever. Once finished, Boo sighed softly, looking at the moon and talking to himself. That formation you set at Luo Lan house is useless. Not even a stray cat can get in. It is such a headache. An idea struck Boo. Maybe it is time I had a talk with those 2 kids. Inside Li Luo's dorm, Qingyi and Qingni sat face to face, drinking tea. Ling Qing smiled with a strange, relaxed vibe, while watching the drama unfold. She was truly shocked to see Qingni here, of all places. She thought that after the last failure, she would have run away. It was exciting to see this heated confrontation. Who knew this little girl had so much courage in her? Imagine meeting Qingyi and still coming over to say hello. Ling Qing grinned widely. Truly fascinating. Just then, Man poured tea into the cups. She offered politely, Everyone, please take a break and drink. Sensing the thick tension, Man felt uneasy. This vibe was definitely off. Right then, Li Luo walked down the stairs. He asked, confused, Why is everyone here at once? Seeing the 3 of them. Li Luo shared excitedly. Having all of you here makes this tiny dorm feel truly honored. Qingyi added, Congrats on winning first place among the freshmen. He replied humbly, I didn't do this alone. Man put in a massive amount of hard work, too. Tan Fu stood behind the door, staring grumpily. Are you just going to ignore me like that? She encouraged him. Keep it up. Once you beat Zhulu, you will be the real number 1. Li Luo's mind raced. Beating He Jiu's group really pushed me to the limit. If I have to face Zhulu next, I'm honestly worried my chances are only 30. Me 30, Zhulu 70. Ling Qing revealed the secret. Qingyi said if you win the top spot, there's a special reward waiting. She tossed a melon at Ling Qing. Eat your melon. Qingni suggested a new plan. Since the exams are over, shouldn't there be a break? I want you to come back to the Great Xia city with me. Li Luo agreed, but with a condition. I can, but there's one thing I must finish first. Can you wait? Qingni asked curiously. What is it? He explained his goal. It wasn't easy getting 5,000 points. Time to trade for what I need. We cut to the exchange shop, deep inside its walls. Li Luo steps forward, points piled high. I'm here for the resonant Moreau. Recognizing him, the crowd starts buzzing with intense rumors. It is the top-ranked student from the academy's recent matches, Li Luo himself. No wonder he has 5,000 points. Is that Zheng King beside him? People say they're engaged. That guy's luck is making everyone incredibly jealous. The shopkeeper takes the points and brings out a treasure, slowly lifting the lid. Inside sits a full bottle of resonant marrow. Seeing it, Li Luo's hands tremble with excitement as he reaches out to take his prize. This much should be enough, right? Noticing the movement, the man suspiciously pulls the box back. What are you doing? Staring in confusion, he thought he would get the whole box. Isn't it mine? The shopkeeper immediately explains the extreme value of the item. You couldn't afford this whole bottle, even if you sold your entire house. Then, he uses a dropper to carefully extract a tiny single drop. Next, the shopkeeper slowly transfers the liquid into a miniature vial. He holds out the tiny jar to the boy, whose eyebrows knit together in disbelief. He was only getting one single drop. Stunned, Li Luo yells in frustration, I worked my tail off for 5,000 points. And I only get one drop. Are you scamming me? Seeing the outburst, the shopkeeper smirks and warns him. I suggest you keep your emotions in check, young man. No one has ever successfully stolen from Sage Astral Academy since it was built. With no other choice, Li Luo sighs and accepts reality. Fine, I'll just come back later. Feeling defeated, he turns around and suggests they head home. Sister King, let's go. Just then, her clear voice rings out. I will take one portion too. Seeing her do this, Li Luo's face flushed. Sister King, he explained shyly. The points I earned from this ranking match only cover one drop. There is really no need for you to rush. Do not worry about the resonant marrow yet. You have still got plenty of time left. But King simply places the item in his hand. This will be very useful for you. She smiles at him for a long moment, then waves it off and walks ahead. I have more ways to earn points than you, so do not worry. Without waiting for an answer, she urges him along. All right, enough talk. Let's get moving. Watching him stand there dazed, Ling Qing whispers mockingly, touched. Are we? Li Luo laughs and grabs it. Fat chance I'm paying her back with my body. She shouts back. In your dreams. Ling Qing glares around and quickly pushes him. Move it. Can't you see everyone here looks like they want to eat you alive? Hearing that, Li Luo asks nervously. They won't actually snap and hurt me, will they? Let's get out of here. Outside the academy, someone is waiting by the carriage. Tsaiwei greets them respectfully. Young House Lord, how was the freshman orientation? Li Luo replies with a cocky, arrogant look on his face. I wanted to keep a low profile while training, but I could not help but lead my squad to first place. She beams with joy. Well, congratulations then, young House Lord. Eager for the next step, Tsaiwei asks a follow-up question. Since you are so happy, I assume you will be finishing up the summary of that primal secret technique soon. He rubs his aching lower back and quickly responds, no rush. Let me get some rest first. Tsaiwei cannot help teasing him. Young lord, you are in your prime, strong as a tiger. You should not be this weak, he retorts. I am not weak. Sensing things were getting awkward, King steps in to gently stop the teasing. Sister Tsaiwei, stop teasing him. Tsaiwei gives her a suggestive look. Is King feeling protective? She then notices him looking around and asks curiously, Are you looking for Luke? She reports that the girl had been waiting for him, but the Golden Dragon Bank picked her up a while ago. After hearing this, Li Luo does not hesitate. In that case, let's get going to... As they leave, a luxurious carriage marked with the Golden Dragon crest pulls up behind them. A woman in a striking red dress looks away, then turns her questioning gaze toward the girl. Hong, she asks sharply. Kinger, you don't like that boy, do you? Hearing this, Kinger shyly and hurriedly tries to explain herself. Mother, what are you saying? Li Luo and I are just friends. He helped me back at Southwind Academy, that is all. Hongxi warns her sternly. Look at the girls around him. There is a line of beautiful women everywhere. He's clearly a playboy. You'd better keep your distance. Despite her mother's words, she's annoyed and pushes back against the idea. If you put it that way, wouldn't that make me one of those beauties too? Kinger firmly argues that this has nothing to do with Li Luo personally. They are all friends of Senior Jiang and are helping House Luo Lan. It is natural. However, Hongxi does not care. She grumbles in annoyance. Who knows? Li Taixuan was no good, and his son is definitely no good either. Staring into her mother's ruby eyes with pure curiosity, Fan Ni finally spoke up. Mom, she started softly. Did you actually have a thing for Tai Hian back then? Hong Qi frowned, acting totally indifferent. So what if I did? Countless high society girls in this kingdom lost their hearts to him that year. Fan Ni looked confused and asked with regret, but in the end, everyone lost to Dai Lam. Mom, you are so beautiful. How could you lose? Hearing that, Hong Qi grumbled and pinched her daughter's cheek. You dare mock your mother. Well, am I wrong? Isn't that how it went? She defended herself, claiming she was only curious about Tai Haiyan initially. So there were no regrets at all. Besides, if I'd met him sooner, Dai Lam wouldn't have stood a chance. Fan Ni was stunned, her mind racing with questions. Then what is the deal with the mentor? Sage Dao, from the academy. Mom, you probably know I am one of his students, right? Hong Qi raised an eyebrow, her voice dripping with disdain. Just another loser who used to admire me back then. He acts generous and open-minded, but he can't handle the slightest setback. He's honestly just like a big child. Fan Ni froze, repeating the words like a child. However, Hong Kei's tone soft. Still, I'll give him credit for his vision. At least he was smart enough to take you as a student. Fan Ni realized it and sighed. If not for Sage Dao's guidance, my level 7 spirit resonance probably wouldn't have earned me a purple medal student spot. Hong Qi smiled and corrected her rank. It is not level 7. I have never been stingy with your spirit water all these years. By my count, in a few days on your birthday, we can upgrade your ice resonance to level 8. Seeing her mother remembered, she shouted excitedly, Wait, really? Hong Qi nodded kindly and added, Think of it as my birthday gift to you. Hearing this, Fan Ni happily threw her arms around her mother. Thanks, Mom. But a flicker of regret clouded her icy eyes. Because deep down, the one thing she'd always wanted to ask Hong Qi was any information regarding her missing father. She only had vague childhood memories of him. Then, he apparently left for somewhere far away and completely vanished without a trace. Hong Qi acted like he was already dead, never worrying or asking about him. Whenever Fan Ni dared to bring up her father, Hong Qi would explode with anger. Eventually, Fan Ni learned to keep those questions buried deep inside her heart. A few seconds later, she whispered cautiously, Mom, can I invite some of my classmates to my birthday party? Hong Qi grew suspicious of the guest list. Li Luo is definitely on that list, isn't he? Fan Ni shyly defended her friend. Li Luo really helped me out a lot before. You aren't seriously holding a grudge against him just because of the past, right? Left with no choice. Hong Qi sighed in agreement. Fine, whatever you want. She smiled brightly and thanked her mother. Thanks, Mom. Thinking about the past, she thought gloomily, Tai Hian broke my heart back then. Is my daughter really going to fall for his son and repeat the cycle? Inside the carriage, carrying Li Luo and Jiang King back to the great Xia city, the carriage was filled with laughter and a bright spring vibe. 3 women sat there, each more beautiful than the next. That is when Tai Vai reported the insane profits. All thanks to the secret method provided by the young palace master. The Sun Crick headquarters brought in 300,000 gold taels this month. Zhang King gasped in shock. That much. Li Luo heard this and calmly explained the massive growth. This spike was actually exactly what I expected would happen. After all, the Sun Creek branch in Tianshu Prefecture already saw this kind of boost. Tai Vai let out a frustrated sigh. But since the young palace master needs so much spirit water, we are still down 20,000. Hearing that, Lincoln mocked him. So, you're spending more than you make. This money pit of yours is getting pretty deep. Li Luo was speechless. Sister Tai Vai, I feel like you're ganging up on me. Zhang King replied calmly. Money is meant to be spent. Once his dual resonance reaches perfection, and House Luo Lan gets a brand new Duke-level expert, it won't be considered a loss at all. He was so touched he could have cried. Only my dear king truly cares about me like this. Then a sudden idea struck him. Sister Tai Vai, isn't there still room for the Sun Creek headquarters revenue to grow further? Tai Vai stayed silent for a while before reminding him. Normally, yes, but don't forget. She explained that the Sun Creek headquarters wasn't in its prime anymore. Li Luo cursed in frustration. That ungrateful traitor, Pei Hao. He's a total snake. If you want to leave, just leave. But taking so many resonance masters with you is just cruel. Tai Vai added sadly. We are still recruiting masters, and the pay is not low. But the results are not as good as we hoped. Hearing this, Zhang King asked in surprise. Are we being targeted? By who? She bitterly revealed who was really behind it. It is obviously the top master from House Dues. That's who. They worked so hard to cripple us. Why would they just sit back and watch Sun Creek slowly recover? They are dead set on sabotaging us by snatching up every resonance master in sight to stop our recovery. Li Luo's expression darkened as he ran the numbers in his head. If King and I hadn't already secured our spots at the St. Astral Academy, House Dues would have definitely made their move to eliminate us both by now. Sai Wei added that every master in the city has been approached. It seems like they have all been bribed with better offers to jump ship and leave our Sun Crest house in the dust. She snapped that House Dues was just using their vast wealth to crush them. King stayed calm. Don't rush the hiring, she whispered. Once Sun Crest stabilizes, we will find our chance to grow. Just keep your head down for now. Suddenly, Sai Wei remembered something. There is another urgent problem, she frowned. Masters from our Xiling branch are heading to the capital. From the way they talk, it's clear they are looking for a fight. Li Luo frowned. The Xiling branch? He muttered. He knew the layout. Besides their main headquarters here, they had two major satellite offices in operation. One was located in Nanfeng City, while the other was tucked away deep within the Xiling Prefecture. But the Xiling branch has been under Pei Hao's thumb for a long time. They do not take orders from the main house anymore. Without wasting time, King ordered Lei Zhang to keep a very close eye on those people. We need to locate Pei Hao immediately. I have a gut feeling he might use this chance to slip into the capital city. Li Luo was stunned. Pei Hao is here too. She nodded, certain that her instincts about his arrival were correct. Li Luo grit his teeth. If he shows his face in the capital, can we just end this and take him out once and for all? King thought it over. It's not Pei Hao I'm worried about, she admitted. It's the shadow players pulling his strings from the dark. The power behind him is the real threat. Li Luo fell silent, weighing the danger. Without someone backing him, he never would have dared to betray my family after my parents vanished. So, who is the hidden sponsor? He ran through the suspects. Was it House Dues? House G? Or maybe some other faction lurking in the shadows? He sighed. It looked like this vacation wasn't going to be the peaceful break he had been hoping for. Back at the LCC Lam estate, Uncle Boo was busy setting the table with steaming dishes. He looked at the boy with a mix of deep affection and lingering worry. "Young Mast, you look much stronger after a month away, but don't think you can skip your tonic. Drink up, every last drop." Li Luo grinned, clearly excited. "I've actually missed your cooking and this tonic quite a bit, Uncle Boo." He sat down with King and leaned in. "So, Uncle, how much Emperor Flow and resin do we actually need for that pill?" Uncle Boo looked up, surprised. "Wait, did the young master actually manage to find some of that rare resin?" Li Luo quickly pulled out 2 small vials. "Is this enough, Uncle? Take a look and tell me." He examined the vials closely before looking up with a grim expression. The number he gave was absolutely staggering. "Based on this amount, you are going to need at least 20 more bottles to even stand a chance." Li Luo was completely floored by the news. 20 more bottles. King had already guessed they were short, but she never imagined the gap would be this massive. Li Luo gave a forced laugh. "Uncle, are you trying to kill me?" Boo just shook his head and began to explain. "Young master, you lack the core foundation. For anyone else, this would be impossible. You are trying to defy the odds. This is a fundamental art that builds your inner strength. Even in the great Xia, it is incredibly hard to find. Old Naiyu has a way to make it work, but you've already been working yourself to the bone. Refining a second resonance gives me incredible power, but it also comes with a massive, dangerous drawback. If word got out about how hard it is for me to reach the general stage, people would just laugh at me." Seeing the tension, King spoke up. "Don't worry, Uncle. The cost for the resin is high, but we still have some time to make it happen. Li Luo is still quite far from hitting the general stage. If we work together and focus all our energy on earning points, we can definitely close the gap in time." Li Luo was stunned. "But King," he stammered, "that resin is a rare resource that you desperately need for your own training too." She didn't say a word, only offering him a gentle smile. Looking into her eyes, he suddenly understood what she was doing. Li Luo bit his lip, making a silent vow to give it his all. He had to earn those points, no matter what. He couldn't let his own struggle slow down her progress. Uncle Boo watched him, his expression becoming quite grave as he spoke. "I know the pressure is heavy, but neither of you are children anymore. You need to face this head on. Without pressure, how can you expect to grow?" He left them both, speechless, a strange glint shining in his eyes. Then Nga seemed to catch his drift, suddenly realizing the truth. He went on, explaining his reasons for everything. "I originally intended to wait until you both reached the heavenly general stage before revealing these secrets to you, but the current situation is even worse than I expected. So I have no choice but to tell you the truth now." Hearing this, he realized it immediately. Uncle Bo stayed at the mansion headquarters for a very specific reason. Bo dropped a bombshell. A mysterious, high-level Duke expert broke into the mansion late last night. "I can't believe it," Li Luo stammered in shock. "A Duke stage expert breaking into the mansion at midnight." Then Nga looked on, completely puzzled. How could something that big happen without any noise? "I didn't receive a single report about an intruder." Bo shrugged as he spoke. "It was just a clone, so I simply cut it down myself." Li Luo grinned. "I knew it. You are a total legend. If you want my knees, I will literally give them to you." Bo chuckled at the boy's words. "What legend? I am just a man who cannot even leave this headquarters." He began the story. "For years, a powerful hidden force has been watching this headquarters from the shadows. Before, they were only watching from afar. But last night, they actually invaded the headquarters. Biao's expression turned very grave. Do you two have any idea what they are searching for in this place? The air grew heavy. Then Nga and Li Luo traded looks, both of them lost in deep, serious thought. He asked cautiously, "What exactly are they looking for here at the mansion headquarters?" Biao slammed the table, revealing the truth. "They want what your parents left, to see if they are still alive." She bolted up. "What? Wait. Did not my masters enter the Duke battlefield already? Why would they come here to confirm that?" Even Li Luo was stunned by the news. Bo winked at them. "That is how smart those two are. Did you really think they would leave without a backup plan?" Night fell outside, the massive moon glowing above. He ordered Than Nga and the boy to follow him. The mansion kitchen. Bao stood by the wall, with the two of them standing close behind him. He raised his hand, summoning a brilliant magic circle right before them. They both looked on with total shock and curiosity. The matrix transformed into a deep black vortex, with countless diamond-like sparks circling it, while the center glowed with a blinding light. Bao reached in proudly. "My own power is the key to opening this gateway." He laughed and explained that the power from both of them would work just as well. He just hadn't mentioned it before now. Li Luo and Than Nga looked at each other and shared a slow, knowing nod. The three of them stepped through the portal together. "Let us go." They vanished as the gate sealed shut, leaving only a faint glow. Inside was a swirling vortex like a storm, with countless rays of light falling. Bo led the way out of the magic gate, stepping down stairs that floated in midair. He looked up in complete awe, seeing the three of them standing under a massive, towering dome filled with soft blue light and ancient magical runes that floated endlessly all around them. Inside this hidden palace, countless glowing patterns sparkled everywhere. These patterns were perfectly aligned, forming some kind of mysterious, ancient array. A massive array covered the floor. Their eyes followed the lines to the center. At the peak of a dragon and phoenix statue, a mysterious flame burned. He noticed the two flames flickering before him. One glowed a deep crimson red, while the other burned with a mysterious, dark blue light. Li Luo felt a bit suspicious and spoke up. "I think I can feel the breath of our blood connection pulsing here." Than Nga called out to him. "Uncle Bo, what is this?" He closed his eyes and began to explain. "These two flames are the life fires of Taijuan and Dai Lam. The blue one is truly powerful. This represents the current state of their very lives. The bright orange flame meant their lives were strong. They are still out there and doing just fine." Standing on the array, Bo explained the flames. Li Luo let out a long breath of relief. "This represents their current life force. The soul flames are still burning, very strong, even now. This proves they are not in danger." Than Nga smiled with pure relief. Her entire face lit up, filled with a gentle warmth. Seeing her relief made him happy too. Sister Nga, her hidden worry all these years was just as deep as mine. Li Luo asked, "Uncle, why not tell us sooner?" Bo looked at them seriously. "Because there are people in this great Xia who care about your parents' survival even more than you do." Both he and Than Nga were shaken by that answer. Boo Boo turned to face them, framed by the mystical aura of this chamber. "Did you really think this underground palace was built just to store their life flames and nothing else?" Strange glowing runes drifted through the air, linking together as they floated in the void. Those countless complex sigils were clearly divine, a level of ancient magic far beyond anything we could ever hope to comprehend. She glanced worriedly at LSLCC, but he was sweating, eyes locked forward. He lowered his head, shadows masking his face as his voice turned cold. "Over the years, the life flames, of Weon and I Lam have been targeted more than just a few times. At their lowest, the twin fires nearly flickered out. After all, the noble's battlefield is one of the world's most lethal forbidden zones. His face betrayed his fear. He couldn't hide his growing anxiety as Boo spoke those heavy words. Even powerful dukes only have enough strength to barely survive in there. He closed his eyes and let out a dry laugh. The only reason they pulled through is because this underground palace exists to protect them. I have to admit, those two were incredibly resourceful. Runes gathered around them, glowing beams, merging with the formation beneath their feet to create a surreal light. Boo kept talking. Those two dragon and phoenix stone carvings. That was Weon and I Lam's true genius. If they face a fatal threat, these statues can instantly transmit power to them, buying them crucial time to break through their limits. He smirked with pride. You might not realize how miraculous this is. Even a king-tier warrior would struggle to replicate it. It is nearly impossible to force energy inside. LSLCC grinned and gave a thumbs up. My parents really were brilliant planners. But then NGA looked grim, her golden eyes flashing as if 1,000 dark thoughts were racing. Inside her mind, the enemy dukes invading House Luo Lan want to break in here. They need to find those life flames to confirm. If my masters are still alive, even Boo answered darkly. It isn't just about confirmation. If they snuff out those flames, we, and I Lam will be crippled. The noble's battlefield is a nightmare wasteland under a blood-red sky. In a place as treacherous as the noble's battlefield, a sudden, crushing blow like that would rob them of any chance at survival. But then, his mood shifted to something more positive. Boo smiled, gesturing toward them as a complex. Mystical array began to rotate slowly in the air behind him. But don't worry too much. This place is divided into two sections, and this half forms its own unique defensive array. This formation protects the entire Luo Lan headquarters. Any hostile duke who tries to enter will find themselves blocked. Their internal power would be brutally suppressed. She looked up and asked immediately, "Why have I never heard of this array before?" He gave a kind laugh. "Because it doesn't affect anyone below Duke level. So of course it stayed hidden from you." Boo stared at them with piercing eyes. "Furthermore, do either of you know where the power for this array comes from?" Both Than NGA and LSLCC stared back at him. They remained silent, waiting for him to reveal the truth. Boo raised a finger. "This is the part where those two parents of yours truly outdid themselves. The array isn't fueled by natural energy. It is powered by the entire, sprawling house of Luo Lan itself, all of it." Than NGA and LSLCC stood stunned. House Luo Lan? How could the estate itself possibly possess that kind of power? Boo rubbed his chin thoughtfully. To be precise, the energy comes from the overall prestige and momentum of House Luo Lan. Floating runes surrounded the three of them as light streaked above. He stood tall, hands behind his back, explaining the complex magic. This array is constantly nourishing the essence connected to your parents. As Boo spoke, the house seemed divided. One half was brilliant, bathed in sunlight and filled with a radiant glory. Simply put, the stronger House Luo Lan becomes, the more powerful this momentum and protection will be, providing a nearly impenetrable shield for the headquarters. But the other half was dark, drowned in eerie purple shadows and monsters. If the state of House Luo Lan declines, that momentum fades, and the power of the defensive array will weaken significantly. He folded his arms, his expression becoming solemn. "This is the main reason I am finally telling you the truth. This guardian array needs more momentum to function. And clearly, you two are the only ones who can provide it. They exchanged a look. LSLC spoke up. Unbelievable. But wait. Building a stable and powerful Luo Lan is what we wanted anyway. He closed his eyes, a clear sense of relief and quiet joy washing over him. Being able to actually help my parents from here is so much better than just sitting around waiting for their return. Li Luo's eyes snapped open, his face glowing with newfound hope. That is it. Uncle Bo, you have the power to cut down any duke who dares to threaten the house of Luo Lan. You must be even stronger than a duke, right? If you just showed your true power, all our problems would disappear in an instant. The manor would finally be safe. Bao closed his eyes amidst the shimmering light inside. You two are giving this old ox way too much credit. He did not explain further, but his tone and hesitant posture spoke volumes. There were clearly painful memories and complications holding him back from acting. I will say no more. Just know that I cannot step outside these headquarters. Unless it is a matter of life and death, I simply cannot intervene in the outside world. Zhang King stood there, silent and thoughtful. Li Luo's eyes widened as the realization hit him. It made sense. If Uncle Bo could actually act freely, their family legacy would never have fallen into such a desperate state. Li Luo's gaze sharpened with intense focus. One more thing. Which faction did that duke last night actually belong to? Who sent him? And about my parents drawing those life and death cards together, was that whole thing a setup? Were they targeted from the start? Bao chuckled at the questions. As for which power was behind that duke last night, even I cannot say for certain. A man like that can vanish easily. As for the cards, I have no real answers. But I am certain a mysterious shadow has been working against the manor for years. Take 2 months ago. Pea's betrayal and the fracturing of the manor were definitely orchestrated by someone else. A sudden green light beamed down from the high ceiling above. Frustrated by the lack of clarity, Li Luo scowled. This hidden enemy is proving to be a real thorn in our side, is not it? Jiang King finally spoke up, asking the question that had been weighing on her mind. Her expression was tight with visible anxiety. Uncle Bo, why go to such lengths to destroy the life flame? Why go through all this trouble just to ensure my masters can never find their way back home? He glanced at them both. It is time. I told you the truth about this situation. Taijuan and Danlan Day are not from Great Chia. They came from somewhere far beyond our borders. Stunned, she repeated his words. Beyond Great Chia. Li Luo pressed urgently. From another country. The old man did not answer directly. He just offered a cryptic smile. Bao walked away, leaving them puzzled. Why would this shadow be so obsessed with the house of Luo Lan? He pressed his palm against the stone wall. Suddenly, a fierce blaze erupted, completely engulfing Uncle Biao's arm in dancing flames. A brilliant beam of light shot up from below, illuminating the entire chamber in an instant. A diamond-shaped crystal appeared, glowing with a soft yet intense green light. It pulsed with ancient magic, casting mystical patterns into the stale air around them. Bo squinted as the divine radiance washed over his weathered face and tired eyes. This is the very heart of the underground palace. It is the source of power for Taijuan and Danlan. Li Luo stayed quiet, staring at Biao's broad, steady back. The old man voiced his suspicion. I believe the shadow is coming for them. And likely for this as well. He gestured toward the glowing crystal, imagining the countless greedy hands reaching out to claim it. This is God-tier essence. A duke would sacrifice everything just to get their hands on it. Because only this legendary material can help them reach the power they have always dreamed of. Biao's face half vanished into the shadows, his eyes narrowing with a dangerous gravity. The secret of the king. The trio stood frozen. Li Luo and Zhang King were hit by one shock after another, gasping in total disbelief. The king's secret. Li Luo felt a surge of panic. His parents were not just foreigners, they carried a treasure that could shake the entire world. Their origins were far from simple. She sensed his deeper meaning. Is there a specific reason you are telling us this secret now, Uncle Bo? He nodded. Zhang King, you are as sharp as ever. Our protective barrier has been compromised. Outside, the sky was pitch black. Even the massive moon was swallowed by dark clouds. But Uncle Biao's steady voice continued, because our manor has been unstable for years now. In 6 months, the array will reach its weakest point. That is when they will strike at our very core. They will snuff out the life flame and seize the god-tier essence. He closed his eyes and bowed his head, looking utterly exhausted by his limitations. To be honest, once things reach that point, I am afraid I will not be able to stop them. Zhang King stared in shock, while Li Luo stood there completely speechless. Only 6 months left. Bo spoke with the desperate urgency of a guardian. I need you to stabilize or expand the manor as much as possible during this time. That way, we might actually stand a chance when the fight begins. The two of them shared a tense look. Li Luo let out a heavy sigh. The clock is really ticking now. This is a lot of pressure to handle all at once. Zhang King offered a reassuring smile. Uncle Bo, do not worry too much. They will not dare to make a massive move just yet. They fear other top powers might notice. Right now, our only priority is making the house of Luo Lan stronger. Behind her, the diamond-shaped mana stone glowed intensely. He grinned ear to ear, feeling a weight lift after finally sharing the secret with both of them. Hold Niu looked much more relaxed now. He looked up and told Boo softly. Uncle Bu, you really should have mentioned this a lot earlier. He crossed his arms and smirked, teasing Li Luo with a sharp question. Young palace master, what exactly could you have done, even if you knew? He slumped down in embarrassment and replied, nothing at all. Uncle Bihu, stop staring at me like that, okay? Bug turned serious again. Young palace master, while the affairs of Luo Lan house are urgent, you really need to pay attention to your own lifespan. Li Luo flinched as the secret came out, while Ching Yi looked just as deeply shaken. She immediately pressed him about the main issue. What lifespan problem? He scratched his head, embarrassed for slipping up. You did not know. He never told you. From behind her, Li Luo frantically pressed his hands together, desperately pleading with Big Eye Boo to stop. Uncle, shut up. Ching Yi turned around furiously and barked out an order. Li Luo, explain everything to me right now. Li Luo reluctantly confessed the truth. It is nothing, really. To fix the blank resonance issue, I had to pay a price. I only have 5 years left to live. Her entire body went limp. Ching Yi felt like she was falling into a bottomless abyss. Her golden eyes, usually so bright, were now vacant and cold. Only 5 years of life remaining. He rushed to comfort her, speaking with absolute confidence and determination. Do not worry, it is temporary. If I reach the Duke realm within 5 years, my lifespan will be restored. Ching Yi moved her lips softly. A duke in 5 years, her eyes filled with sadness. You will only be in your 20s then. No one in the great Xia has ever achieved that. Li Luo scrambled to convince Ching Yi. Just trust me on this. I will definitely make it happen in 5 years. There was no other choice to fix the blank resonance. Ching Yi did not answer. She just coldly turned away. Li Luo forced a smile to lighten the mood, but he was terrified inside. She was definitely angry now. He cursed Boo under his breath, Uncle Biao, we do not have any beef. Why did you have to play me like that? He just scratched his head and gave a sheepish grin at the awkward mess. Outside, the moon peeked out again after being hidden behind dark clouds. The three returned to the dark hallway. Biao gave them one final, cautious reminder. Keep today's secret locked in your hearts. As for stabilizing and growing the Luo Lan house, that is a burden for both of you to shoulder now. He waved as he walked away, signaling Li Luo. Keep it up, Qingyi. Only then did he dare to turn and try to comfort her. Sister Qingyi, please do not be mad anymore. She just turned away coldly and ordered him to follow her to the training room. Li Luo broke out in a sweat but had to comply. The scene shifted to the training room. Qingyi gripped her sword with a dark expression. Her sharp gaze pierced through him as if she wanted to cut him into pieces. Li Luo groaned inwardly. It looked like she was going to beat him to vent her anger. He held his sword and grinned, but he was shaking like a leaf. Li Luo tried to calm himself down. If a beating could help Sister Qingyi feel better, then it was worth it. In a flash, she lunged forward with a lightning-fast strike. He gritted his teeth and stared. How was she so fast? Li Luo gave up and squeezed his eyes shut, waiting for the blow to land. He could not block it, so he braced himself. But there was only a white blur and thousands of falling petals. Qingyi gritted her teeth in pain. He peeked and saw her blade resting on his shoulder. Seeing that she had stopped and was just standing there with her head down, he softly whispered, Sister Qingyi. Her beautiful eyes met his, overflowing with deep heartache and an overwhelming sense of worry. He froze when he saw that look. In the quiet room filled with swirling petals, only their two shadows remained. As Li Luo whispered his apology for making her worry. Then, Qingyi's hair drifted softly as she moved. Moonlight from outside revealed their two shadows pressed tightly together on the floor. Her hand reached out and gripped his arm firmly. Qingyi closed her eyes and rested her forehead against his, whispering, Li Luo, promise me you will make it. Li Luo comforted her gently. Do not worry, I will make it happen. Outside the house, beautiful flowers were blooming right alongside his promise. This is my promise to you. The next morning, sunlight flooded the Luo Lan house. An urgent knocking sounded at the door. Li Luo went to open it. I am coming. The door slowly creaked open, revealing the bright morning light outside. Qingyi stood there, looking radiant in the brilliant light. She held up a box and smiled softly. This is the spirit liquid, sister, Saiwei bought for you. I brought it all over. He stared at her, completely lost in her beauty. He could not stop his face from turning bright red. Li Luo eagerly reached out for the box. This is perfect timing. Thank you, Sister Qing. Qingyi handed it to him with a wide smile and a gentle reminder. You really should thank Sister Saiwei. She went through a lot of trouble to find the funds for this. Li Luo just chuckled, thinking to himself that Sister Saiwei probably never expected to live such a frugal life. We walked down the hallway side by side, tension building between us. Then Nga weighed the heavy burden of my lifespan. I only had 4.5 years left. She calculated that, by the end of this year, my power must reach the second transformation of the general phase. My mind raced with anxiety. The general phase, second transformation. Right now, I am only a high-tier flower seed. I am approaching the birth pattern stage, and that phase contains 5 whole levels to master. Thinking about each rank I had to reach made my goals feel far away and unreachable. From what I know, most first-year students only reach the 2nd or 3rd rank of the birth pattern stage. Reaching the general phase already. I sighed. frustrated that it felt impossible. She turned toward me and issued a very strict, stern warning. When I started at the St. Chuan Star Academy, I was already at the general phase. Second transformation. By my second year, I hit the Earth General rank. You do not have time. Your life depends on it. Than Nga lectured me with an intense gaze. I could not fall behind her. She spoke with a voice that carried a firm threat. If you fail this first step, you have no future. Whatever resources you need, I will do everything to help you. I raised a trembling finger and tried to give a flattering smile, though I sounded anxious. Than Nga's sister. If you spend all your points on energy fluid for me, how can you fight for the 7-star pillars later? She dismissed my worries instantly. I have a 9th grade light soul, so do not worry about me. I glanced at her, unwilling to accept her sacrifice and firmly rejecting her plan. A 9th grade light soul is not invincible, despite how powerful you are. You cannot treat the 7-star pillars like they are nothing. I am grateful, but I have to say no. Than Nga looked clearly displeased, her brow furrowed at Li Luo. He smugly fired back, asking if the general phase was really that big of a deal. By the end of the year, I will show you. She closed her eyes and issued a final command. We do not have a second to waste. I will give you exactly 2 months to reach the 4th birth pattern. If you cannot do it, then you must follow my lead and do things my way. I stammered, my heart racing. My internal thoughts were a total disaster. For patterns in 2 months. If I want to reach the Duke rank within 5 years, this is the pace I absolutely have to maintain. I looked down, my eyes heavy. Than Nga could not stand the thought of my time running out. We entered a different room and walked toward someone sitting on a sofa. Wei saw us arrive and reported immediately. Miss, young lord, we need to visit the Shiyang headquarters right away. I looked at her, confused, and asked what had happened. Sai Wei frowned, looking worried. The masters at the branch are revolting, and Tianzhou is behind it. If we do not handle this perfectly, we will never be able to hire anyone again. I listened, panic starting to set in. The Shiyang branch is vital to the house. If their reputation is ruined, it will destroy our formations. I looked at Than Nga and gave a nod. Our footsteps echoed outside. Let us go. No matter how bad it is, we have to fix this. A massive crowd had gathered outside the headquarters. People were buzzing, leaning in to whisper rumors to each other. In the street right in front of the building, a group of men sat waiting. They wore the company crest, surrounded by curious onlookers. Deng Bing began screaming at them disrespectfully. Temjun and Zhao Feng, you are veterans of this branch, who sided with Pei Hao. How do you still have the nerve to show your faces in this place? Tang Jun and Zhao Feng recoiled in shock after being called out by name. They traded shifty glances as a voice sliced through the tension. Elder Deng Bing, you are mistaken. Pei Hao is also a disciple. The white-haired man leaning on a cane was Pang Tianzi. Is it really wrong for them to help Pei Hao? He asked, gritting his teeth in frustration. Elda, did the young lord not lock you away? Why are you out here now? He snorted in cold anger at the comment. He had expected the branch to fall into total chaos without him, forcing Li Luo to eventually beg for his return. He never imagined Li Luo would seize control of the branch so quickly. Tianzi suddenly shifted his attitude, laughing and acting as if nothing was wrong at all. Elder Deng Bing, I am under house arrest, not in a dungeon. Am I forbidden from even stepping out of my own front door? Tianzi began spreading lies to stir up the crowd and cause a scene. I am only here because I feel for the brothers at this branch who were treated unfairly. The young lord has secret refinement methods, but refuses to let the brothers at this branch use them. Is that not heartless and cold? Deng Bing was livid, veins bulging in his neck. He glared at these ungrateful traitors who joined Pei Hao and still demanded our secrets. Deng Ping growled at them, asking if they could just go inside to negotiate like adults. What exactly is the meaning of all this? Tang Jun had the nerve to just scratch his head and grin. If the young lord hands over the secret resonance formulas to our West Ridge branch, then we will gladly leave. He was so livid he nearly saw stars. These ungrateful wolves. Outside, the angry mob continued to swarm the Sun Creek Villa headquarters without any sign of stopping. Elder Deng Ping was fuming with rage, but he was powerless. He just waved his hand in frustration and ignored them. Communication had completely broken down, leaving both sides in a tense standoff. Beijuan stood by the window, watching the chaos unfold with a smirk. He sipped his wine slowly. From this nearby balcony, I want to see how Li Luo and his people try to wiggle out of this one. Hong Lian sat across from him, smoothing her hair, while glancing at Li Luo. That kid actually has some talent after all. I thought Hanzi would have crushed Sun Creek Villa by now. I never expected them to actually survive that onslaught and come out on top. Just the mention of it made Beijuan look bitter and resentful. Word is that Li Luo produced a resonance formula with a purity level that rivals a high 7 grade, Hong Lian whispered her assessment. High 7 grade formulas are extremely rare. You do not just stumble across power like that every day. Her face grew serious. But Sun Creek Villa is desperate for resonance masters. If they cannot handle this mob, they are finished. As for the Du's house, we can certainly help make their internal scandals public for everyone to see. Hong Lian let out a sharp laugh. Let us see how many masters still want to work for them after this. On the other side of the inn, steam rose from a freshly poured cup of hot tea. The man drinking tea alone with a dark, brooding expression was Pei Hao. He looked down, shocked that the boy had changed so much in just a few months. Veins bulged in Pei Hao's neck as he ground his teeth and hissed one name. Li Luo. He took his anger out on the teacup, crushing it until the porcelain shattered into tiny pieces. Pei Hao's voice was cold, and his face was a mask of shadows. We need to move up the schedule for our final confrontation. Tea soaked into the wooden table. Do not rush it. This is just the appetizer. Back at headquarters, the crowd turned to see who was approaching. He hopped from the carriage. It was Li Luo. He smiled at them. Quite a lively scene, is it not? Elder Deng Ping quickly explained the situation. Young lord, Miss Zhang, this mess is going to be very difficult to fix. After hearing him out, Zhang King remained calm. Li Luo is the president of Sun Creek Villa. I am staying out of this one. Deng Ping looked anxious. Young lord, maybe we should just shut down the Westridge branch and cut him off entirely. But Li Luo did not agree. He thought for a moment, then looked up to ask a question. You two over there, you must be the branch presidents. Tang Yun and Zhao Feng, right? The question caught them both off guard. Before they could even recover, Li Luo continued, if you have demands, you can speak them directly to me first. Tianqi watched them through gritted teeth. He could not believe they were being intimidated by Li Luo. He quickly stepped in to interrogate him. Let me ask this. Why is Westridge the only branch without secret formulas, while everyone else gets them? Is the young lord playing favorites? Deng Ping was absolutely furious. Tianqi, you are under restriction. You have no right to speak here. Tianqi continued to act innocent. Even if I am restricted, those people from Westridge were my colleagues. If they are being treated unfairly, it is only natural that I speak up for them today. His eyes gleamed with malice as he continued. If the young lord thinks I have crossed the line, he can just fire me from the company. Li Luo thought to himself, this guy is really trying to win over the hearts of the people every chance he gets. Despite his thoughts, Li Luo just asked, so, what do you think we should do? Tianqi pushed his luck and spoke plainly. We think the young lord should provide us with monthly supplies of secret formulas. Or better yet, share the secret production methods for these resonance formulas with the West Ridge branch directly. Deng Ping could not help but snap back. You have got some nerve asking for that. Why do you not just drop dead? Sai Wei whispered to King. This guy is clearly here to start trouble. King remained as calm as ever. He is doing this on purpose. He wants to provoke Li Luo into saying something cruel. That would trigger a massive rebellion among all the resonance masters from the Westridge branch. Out there. Suddenly, Zheng Qing's gaze shifted toward another direction. She stared at a nearby building with sharp eyes. That man, Pei Hao, is probably hiding up there and watching us right now. She analyzed the situation silently. He wants to see if this little trick of his can cause even more trouble for us today. After stating his terms, Tianqi looked at Li Luo expectantly, but Li Luo did not show any emotion at all. Instead, he just looked like he was lost in deep thought. A moment later, Li Luo asked them again. Tem Jun and Zhao Feng, right? You both want the secret formulas, is that it? Tenjin answered cautiously. That is right, young lord. These secret resonance formulas are extremely valuable to masters like us. Li Luo suddenly switched gears. You know, the Shiling branch hasn't exactly been sending profits back to headquarters lately, has it? He scratched his head, looking away. Young lord, the branch sends funds every single year, he stammered. But whether that money actually reaches the main office, well, that is something we just cannot say for sure. Li Luo did not push the issue. I can give you the secret cultivation methods, he said, but on one condition. I will be evaluating your performance for exactly 1 month. He laid out the terms. You must refine the spirit liquids right here at headquarters. During this period, the ancient techniques are yours to use freely. He smiled at them. If you show me excellence during this 1-month trial period, then things will change. After the review, I will hand over the secret methods to the Shiling branch. The crowd erupted into a flurry of whispers and heated debate. Tem bowed deeply toward Li Luo. The young lord has already made a compromise. If we still refuse to cooperate now, we are out of line. That would be crossing the line. But Tianze was far from happy. Why on earth is he backing down like this? He wondered silently. What am I supposed to say now? Sai Wei rubbed her chin thoughtfully. It is strange. Since when did our young lord become so easy to deal with? Unlike her, Zhang Qing simply smiled. She knew his appetite for power was actually quite massive. Sai Wei asked nervously, does the young lord really plan to swallow this entire group of masters? I fear many of them were sent here by Pei Hao himself. King kept smiling. Was there ever a time when Pei Hao did not have spies planted inside the sun? Creek headquarters. As Li Luo showed his hand, the branch masters who had been sitting still stood up one by one. Eventually, they began filing into the main compound. The crowd of onlookers slowly drifted away. Li Luo watched him with a smirk. It is the thought that counts, and I will gladly accept this gift. Meanwhile, at a nearby tavern, Beijuan gritted his teeth in anger. This Li Luo really has some nerve, he hissed. To think he would just scoop up all the masters from the Shiling branch like that? Hong Lian rested her chin on her hand. He wants to pull those experts into the Sun Creek headquarters. I must admit, he has ambition and real guts. She calmly analyzed the situation. This is their own internal house, Luo Lan war. The bigger the mess they make, the better it is for our house. Duzi. Finally, Hong Lian ordered her people to keep a close watch on Sun Creek. Pei Hao's face darkened. Having a resonance really did make Li Luo much more confident. A sharp, cold glint flickered in his eyes. Back when Li Taixuan and Tan Talon were still here, Li Luo lived in total glory. From the moment he was born, he had everything. Meanwhile, Pei Hao was treated like a mere servant at his beck and call. A fire of jealousy began to burn deep inside Pei Hao's heart. But as they say, pride comes before a fall. No one expected Taixuan and Talon to disappear into the Duke battlefield. Li Luo was born without a resonance, making him unfit to lead House Luo Lan. Pei Hao's ambition grew as he tried to buy people's loyalty, but unfortunately for him, King stepped in. Once she took charge of House Luo Lan, she displayed a level of skill and charisma that made everyone envious. Most importantly, she possessed a 9th-grade light resonance, which was more than enough to capture the hearts of the people. King quickly stabilized the situation within House Luo Lan, standing directly against him. He never imagined that after that meeting at the old manor, he would start receiving even worse news. Li Luo had finally broken his resonance-less state. He did not just gain a resonance. He took first place in the Tianshu exams to enter Astral Sage Academy. Then, he even revealed a rare dual resonance. The useless young lord had suddenly become a shining star. Pei Hao felt like nothing more than a pathetic clown in comparison. Pei Hao's expression turned murderous. Do they really think a man like me has no powerful backers in this city? The candlelight flickered in the dead of night. He stared at the dark gate before him. Pei Hao looked nervous for a moment, but he finally stepped inside. A creepy atmosphere surrounded Pei Hao. He descended the stairs under the dim, flickering light and opened the door. I have arrived, he told the figure inside. Pei Hao was clearly on edge. The hooded figure inside asked coldly, "Was that little performance today part of your master plan?" The mysterious person continued, stating that Li Luo was no longer the same weak boy he used to be. Pei Hao remained stubborn. But if he thinks he can actually save House Luo Lan alone, he is living in a total fantasy world. He looked at the figure eagerly. Since your organization is so incredibly powerful, he began, if you were willing to take action, House Luo Lan wouldn't have been able to survive for all these years. The mystery man just chuckled. We have our own reasons for holding back. You just focus on weakening House Luo Lan by any means necessary. A dangerous look flashed in the man's eyes. As long as you can pull this off, I will give you anything you need. Pei Hao smiled and nodded. Rest easy, my lord. If I cannot have it, then I will destroy it. I won't let Li Luo enjoy what belongs to me. The figure turned away. Why do I get the feeling that you harbor such a deep, burning hatred for Li? Taixuan and Talon probably treated you well, didn't they? Pei Hao kept a straight face. My respect and love for the two house lords comes from my heart. The stranger continued, so you are jealous of Li Luo. You envy the love he received, something that you could never have for yourself. Ho's eyes were filled with pure loathing. Honestly, who wouldn't be consumed by envy? Born into privilege, he had everything without trying, clueless about reality. Yet engaged to Than and the mysterious figure kept smiling. Jealousy is a powerful motivator, after all. Then, he spread his arms and uttered a chilling command. Because of that envy, we must go and destroy him completely. Inside a massive, opulent room, a group of people were shouting, You lot are Ho's men. How dare you demand access to our ancient secret arts? The others nodded in agreement, but LSLC stepped in to calm the room. Don't be so harsh on our colleagues from the Westridge branch. In my eyes, they helped build this successful brand. Huan Vien watched, stunned. He never expected the young lord to be so incredibly open-minded. Forgiving. LSLCC just kept talking. Revenue this month has been phenomenal. I want to personally thank everyone here for their hard work. Things were a mess before, but I believe our future will be even more powerful and bright. LSLC clenched his fist. My goal is for this shop to hit the top 10 list in the country, and for every one of you to become the most famous refining masters in the Great Xia. The crowd roared in excitement. Long live the young lord! Long live the workshop! Huang Vien felt a spark of hope. It was truly inspiring. He worried He Jiu only saw them as money-making tools. He feared they had no real future under that man. Suddenly, Tai Yufeng spoke up. Young lord, when can we start the refining process? LSLCC just gave him a smile. Your pay and benefits will match our top masters at the headquarters. Elder NG will handle the details. Huang Vien asked, one more thing. What are the specific rules for the test you mentioned? Vi looked at LSLC with sudden anxiety. She wasn't the only one who was feeling nervous. He remained calm. The test is simple. Within the next month, you can challenge me at any time. Send your best masters to compete against me. We will see who can refine the best level 3 liquid. If any of you can beat me just once out of 3 tries, you pass the entire test. Huan Vien and Tai Yufeng were shocked. Wait, does that mean even we are allowed to compete? LSLC closed his eyes, showing no emotion as he answered. That is naturally part of the deal. The two of them said nothing but silently exchanged a knowing look. We are level 4 masters. Winning once should be easy. Looking at his smiling face, they wondered, is this kid actually stupid? The final testing phase would begin in just 2 days. The test begins in 2 days, with another every 3 days. This 9-day window matches his vacation perfectly. Inside the carriage later that night, Vi couldn't help but giggle. I think the way those masters were looking at you was quite funny. Like you're some rich man's foolish son. LSLC didn't argue. To an outsider, this test looked like a handout. Then NGA asked him how he planned to handle the level 3 refining challenges. LSLCC leaned back. I'll become a level 3 master in a few days. Vi gave him a thumbs up. Only Than Nga remained completely serious and focused. Do not waste too much energy on refining. I reached my level because I never allowed myself to get distracted. LSLCC felt helpless. She continued. He Jiu is patient and cruel. I suspect there is poison hidden inside the gift he sent us. I will increase security at the headquarters, but since he is hiding in the shadows, we have to stay alert and ready. Suddenly remembering something, she said, practice using your dual powers. You need to achieve a much stronger healing effect for the difficult trials that are coming next. Why do I need to get used to that? Remember the young emperor you met back at the Golden Dragon Bank? He has a birth defect. The princess wants to see if your unique powers can actually heal him. LSLCC scratched his face. This sounded ridiculous. I'm just a low-rank master. What help could I possibly be to an emperor? She thought about the political rivals. Maybe she just wants to show us some goodwill for now. Even though the regent holds most of the power in the kingdom right now. The princess is influential. Making friends with her is a smart move for us. The carriage rolled on as she spoke of the future struggles. Fine, I will get used to it. The mansion needs strong allies like her. She knew that helping the young emperor reclaim his power would lead to many dangerous and hidden political battles ahead. Very soon, they arrived back at the main mansion. As they stepped out, an old man approached. "Are you young Lord LSLC and Miss Thananji?" Then the old man handed Li Luo a card. "5 days from now is Our Lady Kingera's birthday celebration. The president sent me with this invitation. We hope you both can attend." He took the card and replied, "Kingera's birthday. We will definitely be there." Having finished his task, the old man bowed politely. "I shall take my leave now." King suddenly asked, "Is it not strange that President Hong she invited us? It seems you have no idea just how fiercely she clashed with your mother many years ago." Li Luo closed his eyes, shocked. He never imagined his father had been such a legendary ladies' man back then. Serves him right. King looked helpless, but noted that Hong she was a very formidable woman. Li Luo felt a spark of interest. He really wanted to see just how formidable she actually was. King smiled at him. "I have a feeling you'll find out soon enough." Over the next 2 days, Li Luo worked with his test tubes, thinking his hard work was paying off. His success rate in refining third-grade spirit liquids was getting higher and higher every single day. With just one more breakthrough, I should be able to refine third-grade spirit liquids perfectly. By then, I will finally be a certified third-grade resonance artificer. The door behind Li Luo suddenly swung open. He spun around to see King standing there with her hands on her hips. Terrified, he shouted out, "Don't come any closer. I've already worked as hard as I could today." But she dragged him away anyway, insisting it was for his own good. Soon, agonizing screams echoed through the training room. An hour later, Li Luo stumbled out, gasping for air. That woman was way too rough today. Does beating me up really help? Despite his bruised face, Li Luo forced a smile and said, "I can actually feel my ability to take a hit improving." But he quickly collapsed in exhaustion. "I need to get used to the healing effects of my water resonance quickly. And the wood resonance too. Where else can you find a man as hard-working as me?" Later in his room, Li Luo looked at a weak puppy and reached out to heal it. The terrifying wounds on the little dog slowly began to heal. In a flash, it was happily running around again. Li Luo watched it, thinking that using this power to heal injuries was working quite well. Both the water resonance and the wood resonance possess healing capabilities. My water resonance also contains some light resonance power, and light power is actually meant for healing. Li Luo clenched his fist tightly. Within the water light resonance, the light part is just a supplement. So its power isn't as strong as the water itself. If these 3 healing effects were all to trigger at the exact same time, as long as I don't take a single fatal blow, I could probably recover from anything very quickly. Li Luo thought about King landing a fatal strike, as long as it isn't a killing blow. Yes, I must develop this healing power. Day 3, back in the training room. King smiled and asked if he was ready for today's session. Li Luo took a fearful step back. "I feel like you're just using me as a punching bag lately. Are you still mad that I hid my lifespan from you?" King grinned. "Of course not. I am simply training you. In this kind of combat, you'll learn to control your resonance power much more skillfully." Li Luo marveled at her beauty. With a face like King's, "I bet people would believe any lie she told." Finally, he gave a helpless sigh. "All right then," Li Luo looked at her. "I won't fight back today." With a serious gaze, he continued, "I want you to attack me directly with your resonance techniques." Li Luo folded his hands. Blue and green light immediately enveloped him, and within moments, a surge of energy covered his body. King was quite surprised. Water and wood healing powers. Has he spent the last 2 days researching how to use that energy on his own body? She quickly answered, "All right then." King didn't hesitate as she lunged toward him. Granting his request, she unleashed a massive wave of power directly at him. Even under that fierce assault, Li Luo stood firm. Gritting his teeth against the force, his shoulders were sliced open. Not just his shoulders, his arms were cut too. Despite the pain, Li Luo held on. He flashed a smile and praised himself. Very good. While resisting that power, he thought, in this state, my body truly possesses an incredibly stubborn and powerful ability to recover from any injury. In a life-or-death battle, I could use this unique ability to gain a massive advantage. Soon, the energy faded, leaving behind only a thin trail of white smoke. King looked satisfied and praised him. Not bad for dual water and wood resonances. This healing power is clearly still in its early stages, she continued. Yet it can already boost your body's natural recovery to such an impressive level. Exhausted, Li Luo explained. I call this state iron body. It can significantly boost my physical recovery for a short period of time. Soon, he returned to his normal youthful appearance. Because it drains so much energy, the effect didn't last very long. King remarked quite calmly. I've heard that true masters of water and wood resonances can push this energy to its absolute limit. To a certain extent, their physical bodies become practically immortal. Li Luo listened in silence, wondering why his healing and resonance recovery were so unique. Could this be the true advantage of having dual resonances? It's because he also possesses a supporting light resonance. Although it's not as powerful as his primary resonance, the effects are clearly visible. King finally decided to let him go. That's enough for today. By the way, how have the resonance masters from the branch office been acting lately? He answered tiredly. They seem to be working hard on refining the liquid miracles and haven't caused any trouble yet. King turned back. Her calm demeanor felt unnatural. I'd prefer if their schemes were exposed early, but Li Luo wasn't worried. Overthinking was useless now. Facing the storm was all that mattered. Before she left, she reminded him to visit the Sun Creek headquarters first, to complete the initial assessment. Li Luo thought deeply. He had prepared a long time for these tests. This moment would ultimately decide if he could win over the resonance masters from the branch, and bring them to his side. His eyes flashed with a hint of cunning. This assessment needed to be treated with absolute focus and overwhelming weight. Over at the Sun Creek headquarters, the crowd was buzzing with intense gossip. The white-haired youth whispered, "If we weren't at headquarters, we'd never have experienced a 7th grade secret method personally." The other replied, "My mind is blown. I feel completely enlightened. This feeling is truly magical." Zhao Feng watched the lively group and said to Temp Xun, "These guys never showed this much spirit back at the branch." He felt helpless. Honestly, if I could, I'd want to stay in a place with this much drive too. Zhao Feng sighed with regret. Too bad we've already been branded as Peihao's men from the start. He spoke with concern. Even though headquarters gave us the secret method, I feel like they're watching us, expecting a trick. Temjun felt conflicted. Our young lord is no fool. We were sent here by Peihao, and he certainly didn't send us as a gift. He sat down and spoke quietly to Zhao Feng. Today is the first exam. What's the plan? I heard the young lord's first-grade liquid miracle reached 64% purity. That is a very high level. He sat down to chat further. He must be using the secret method. Without it, his purity would probably only be around 61 or 62%. Temjun looked troubled. Even if the young lord said we could compete, going all out would be pretty tactless. They both sighed. We're in a tough spot. Zhao Feng added, but we can't send a weakling. You know where we stand. He thought of Lu Fu and said, fine, let's send Lu Fu out then. His liquid purity can hit 60%. He should be able to hold his own against the young lord. That should save some face for him. We're playing the villains here. The headquarters staff will probably hate us even more. Tenshun looked pensive. The young lord truly has the presence of a leader. But why was he called a resonance-less waste before? If not for that rumor, House Luo Lan wouldn't be in such chaos. Suddenly, the crowd erupted. The young lord is here. Li Luo arrived, greeting everyone with a warm smile. How is everyone doing? Has the hospitality been lacking? He turned to look at Tenshun and Zhao Feng. Today is our first assessment. Let's get straight to the point and begin. The materials are ready. They're all identical. Feel free to have someone inspect them if you'd like. Tenshun gave a forced smile. You're too kind, young lord. We trust you completely. Li Luo's gaze turned sharp. Who are you putting forward for the refining today? Tang Jun pointed toward Lu Fu. We're sending Lu Fu to compete with you. He is a third-grade resonance master. Deng Ping snapped angrily. You're absolutely shameless. The young lord is second grade, yet you send a third-grade master? He didn't hold back his fury. Why didn't you two step up? The crowd felt awkward. Li Luo acted cool. Elder Deng Ping, don't be so harsh. They aren't breaking any rules. I did say anyone could challenge me. This made the subordinates happy. The young lord's character is practically like a saint's. I wish someone would dig a hole for me to hide in. Li Luo cut the talk. Let's begin. This is the refining area. Everything is equal, but to ensure total fairness, we'll draw lots for spots. Old Liu, you first. Tenshun stepped up nervously. Thank you. I'll pick first. Li Luo just smiled. No need for formalities. The people in the back started whispering again. Look at the young lord, then look at our branch. What are we doing? A heavy sound rang out as Lu Fu watched nervously. Begin. Li Luo looked at him with a smirk. The crowd behind them started gossiping again. People whispered that old Lu was high level but looked stressed. Look at our young mansion master. Completely relaxed. 10 minutes later, a drained Lu Fu shouted, I am finished. The crowd cheered. Fast as always. That is our old Lu for you. Li Luo was reaching the final stage now. Meanwhile, the crowd would not stop praising Lu Fu. 61%. Not bad at all. Given your track record, you really outdid yourself today. But Thames felt uneasy. He wondered if the young mansion master had relied on some ancient secret technique back then. Suddenly Li Luo shouted, I am finished too. He walked over to Li Fu, praising his impressive speed. Li Luo examined the results and nodded. Looks pretty good, he said with a smile. He humbly thanked him. Li Luo waved a hand, saying, We have other business. Let us wrap up this test right here. The crowd asked, Young mansion master, what about the score? Deng Ping wondered. Was the young mansion master lacking confidence? Is that why he made such a sudden exit? The crowd looked around. Lost. He is gone. So, what happens now? Temsavan tentatively asked Deng Ping to evaluate the young mansion master's tempering power. The elder turned back with a fierce expression. Deng Ping glared at them. Were not these two just waiting to see the young mansion master? Humiliated. Temspan and Tio Fong panicked. Why glare at us? We are innocent. Then, Deng Ping focused on Li Luo's impressive results. Tang Van figured the results must have been a disaster. Otherwise, why leave so fast? Deng Ping stepped up to check Li Luo's work. Suddenly, he gasped, staring at the blue liquid in absolute shock. 68%. He rubbed his eyes to be sure. 68% tempering power in a first-grade fluid. I have never seen this before. Deng Ping pointed at Temp's van. Temps wondered, why glare? Am I going to get hit if I check the result? Tang Van went up to check, assuming it was a failure. We are not cheating. We showed him respect. He let out a scream, making everyone curious. Why the yelling? What is it? Just tell us. Fine. Let me see. The whole group stepped forward to check. Moments later, the realization hit them. 68%. It finally hit them. The young mansion master left early. Because he did not want to witness our pathetic, crushed expressions. Is our young mansion master really that terrifying? Someone turned and asked Li Luo. Young mansion master, you left without even checking the results. Very cool, but were not you afraid of a disaster? He chuckled softly. If it were Tempsi Van or Tiu Fong, I might have stayed. But against a third-grade master, there was simply no need. Lin Kan smiled, finally getting it. I see. This is winning through pure skill. Li Luo continued. I am just demonstrating my ability and the future potential of our house. I believe the branch masters will eventually be swayed. Dan Nga smiled. You really did put in a lot of effort. Li Luo looked totally helpless. No choice. The Dutrach mansion is pressuring us too hard. If we want to hire masters fast, this is the only way. Once we win over these branch masters, we can finally take the fight to the Dutrach mansion's elite. Li Luo's eyes flashed with intensity. Of course, Pei Hao likely will not just let this matter slide. Then Nga changed the subject. Right, tomorrow is the big birthday party for Than Ni. I heard many young elites are invited, plus a massive gift is being presented. Li Luo perked up. A massive gift. Rumor has it the Golden Dragon headquarters once opened, a secret cultivation realm called the Golden Dragon. It creates a mysterious, self-contained world designed for high-ranking members and their children to practice their advanced cultivation. This time, the grand gift is opening the Golden Dragon's secret key itself. Li Luo's eyes widened. If the Great Xia branch is this huge, how massive is the actual headquarters? Then Nga continued. Han Qi plans to use the birthday party to give out several secret keys, specifically limited to those at the general stage. I think she is trying to handpick a suitable companion for her young daughter. Li Luo felt annoyed. All that wealth just to pick a companion for her daughter. Incredible. Then Nga did not wait for an answer. I hope you can secure a key and train in the dojo for a month. It would be very beneficial. Li Luo sighed. Getting it would be great, but why do I feel like this will not be easy? Just go see Than Ni. She will be happy. Li Luo broke a sweat. Are you trying to kill me? Than Nga whispered to Li Luo. Hong, she calls the shots here. Talking to Qing is just going to be a waste of time. Since she invited all these talented young elites, there will definitely be trials. Rely on your own strength, but for now, you just have to play along. Exactly. As he showcased his skills, everyone nearby praised the young lord for having such an incredible and brave spirit. On the other side, Pei Hao offered a polite invite. Old Pang, won't you have a drink with me? Tianzi bowed and replied, no thanks. Chief Li Luo is using his power to sway Tenzian's group. We must stay on our guard. He stood up and told the man, the loyalty of Tang Yun and his people isn't entirely on your side yet. If Li Luo keeps chipping away at them like this. But Pei Hao stayed calm, saying, I already know that. Raising his glass, he said, no rush. Let Li Luo enjoy his moment. By next afternoon, a guard shouted, the young lord has arrived. The crowd began whispering about Than Nga. Everyone thought the useless guy beside her was really asking for a death wish. But Li Luo drew just as much attention as she did. He was so handsome that every woman there was staring intensely. He looked at her shyly and said, "Seems people want me dead more than ever." She just ignored it, focusing on business. Li Luo nodded back at her. She pointed toward the entrance. "Please, come in." Beside her, Ching softly added, "Thanks for coming." She turned toward the outside and let out a soft gasp. Li Luo walked in and called out, "Hey, Ching-a!" Ching-o's voice filled with excitement. "Li Luo, you are actually here. You really made it." Than Nga approached Hong Shi and her daughter on behalf of the Luo Lan house. "Congratulations," she said, while Hong Shi watched Li. Hong Shi stared intensely at his face, thinking to herself, "This boy looks exactly like that rotten man from my past." Her eyes burned with resentment, seeing flashes of that other woman in him too. Thinking of this, Hong Shi let out a cold snort. She smiled thinly. "Please come in. It was a long trip for you both. Welcome inside the main hall." Chinga rushed over excitedly, shouting with a laugh, "I will show you around." Hong Ji's face darkened as she sternly stopped her. "You are the star today. With guests arriving, how can you just run off? It is incredibly rude. That is so rude." She turned back to her mother, quietly trying to explain her actions. "But it is not like I am actually doing anything useful here." Li Luo immediately headed inside and replied, "It is fine. Stay and greet your guests. We will go in first and catch up later." Ching watched him go, calling out his name. Hong Shi walked over and cleared her throat loudly, making Ching let out a quiet groan. Her voice echoed throughout the large house. "Mother, please stop staring at me." Hong Shi replied calmly, "More important guests have just arrived at the gate." Inside the hall, Than Nga asked softly, "So, what do you think?" "You have finally met Hong Shi now." Li Luo replied, "She feels incredibly deep and mysterious. There is definitely a lot of hidden pressure coming from her. Between her Duke-level strength and the Golden Dragon Bank's influence, even the current princess has to show her a great deal of respect." He glanced at her and continued, "But I feel like she has a certain coldness toward me. Or maybe even an active dislike." Than Nga laughed and added, "Well, your face does look a lot like your parents. That probably explains her reaction. If anyone in this kingdom can make Hong Shi lose her cool, it is definitely those two." Li Luo closed his eyes and sighed. "Fine, my mother should have been more careful with people back then." Than Nga thought of Ching Ai and said, "She seems different. Her frost resonance has likely reached the 8th grade by now. That is fast." Li Luo was shocked and cried out, "8th grade ice? I have never seen that before. That is absolutely insane progress." She interrupted him, saying it was not strange. With Hong Shi around, Ching has a never-ending supply of 7th grade spirit liquids. His eyes rolled as he muttered about being rich. Suddenly, a voice from behind asked, "I saw you two earlier. What are you discussing?" Luan Wu approached as the crowd shouted, "The princess!" Luan Wu stood silently, right behind where Li Luo was standing. Than Nga turned and bowed respectfully to the princess. Luan Wu smiled and asked, "Hello, Junior Kang? I assume Li Luo knows the plan." Li Luo realized what she meant. She was talking about treating the young emperor. He quickly replied, "I will give it my absolute best, but please do not get your hopes up." Luan Wu looked sad and said, "I am used to disappointment by now. Do not worry about it." He frowned, thinking deeply to himself. The princess is likely asking me to treat the emperor just to build a stronger connection with Than Nga. Still, I need to stay cautious. Suddenly, both Li Luo and Than Nga were startled by a loud, booming voice nearby. Then Nga the Luo Lan house is drowning in trouble. I am surprised you even have the heart to attend a party. Hong Lian and Bei Zhuan walked in with a cold snort. Then Nga sighed, while Hong Lian shouted, "Looks like you are finally feeling frustrated." Her voice was full of mockery. I never thought you'd have the nerve to show up at a party like this. After I completely crushed you in the ranking Hong Lian let out a furious roar, demanding to know what she had just said. Wu Luan immediately stepped in to stop her. Hong Lian, not today. Don't let these people make a joke out of you. She was so livid she could spit blood, cursing. That woman is dead, but I have to respect the princess. Hong Lian and Bei Zhuan turned away, agreeing with the princess and stating they would be leaving first. Wu Luan watched them walk away, noting that Hong Lian had been suppressed for years. Her resentment was clearly overflowing. Qingyi casually remarked that losers only have their big mouths. Next time they met, she promised to hit them even harder. Wu Luan turned toward Li Luo with a teasing look. Plenty of young talents are here for the Golden Dragon secret key today. Li Luo, aren't you going to try? He gave a forced laugh and replied that he might test his luck just a bit. Suddenly, Li Luo looked over and gasped. Is that who I think it is? Across the hall, Zhu leaned against a wall. Li Luo stared at him, thinking with total disbelief. I can't believe a guy like Zhu got an invite, but it makes sense. His father is the great Xia court general. With that status, he was bound to be here. He scanned the room, noticing quite a few familiar faces among the crowd. Next, Li Luo looked elsewhere, recognizing Qiu Ding from when he was with Qing. His gaze shifted toward two others nearby as he thought. The guy next to him is Mo Ling, who helped Qiu Yu in Tianshu Prefecture. Why are all these people glaring at me? Suddenly, a figure approached. Shen Jun walked over with a smile, asking if junior sister Jiang and junior brother Li Luo had arrived. It seems like the bond between Luan Wu and junior sister Zhang is getting much stronger lately, right? Luan Wu laughed and told him not to be jealous of their bond. Shen Jun hesitated, then asked if she had taken the king outside, given the guard activity today. She flashed a bright smile and praised him, saying his sources of information were incredibly sharp. He closed his eyes, acting concerned while criticizing her, because such a major decision was far too important. Even if he wanted Li Luo involved, he should have made a formal trip to the royal palace first. Since you're here, there is no use complaining, but just be careful next time. The king's safety is the top priority after all. Shen Jun then turned his attention toward Li Luo. We'll have to rely on you for the king's matter, junior brother. Don't feel any pressure. Just treat it as a trial. He then turned and left. Qingyi watched him go, remarking that senior Shen Jun was truly a dragon among men. The court certainly produces many heroes, which is a blessing. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out through the hall. President Yu has arrived. Hong, you walked inside. Li Luo looked over at Qinghua and asked Qingyi if that was the lion. Qingyi introduced him as Qinghua, the palace master of the Extreme Flame Palace. He turned to look at Zhu. He muttered that he must be, but she cut him off, identifying him as Zhu Xuan, the son of Qinghua. He's a student at the 2-star academy. His Fire Fairy team took first place in the entire academy rankings this year. Li Luo stared, realizing he was the Fire Fairy captain. Hongxi stood among the guests, inviting everyone to enjoy the party. Qinghua immediately began testing the waters, asking President Yu what she thought of his talented young son. I think he and Qingni would make a great match. She turned and offered a very graceful and polite rejection. Zhu Xuan has incredible potential, but we shouldn't interfere in the affairs of the younger generation. Let them decide for themselves. If they develop feelings, we can support them later. Two glasses clinked together as Hongxi spoke up once more. For this Golden Dragon secret feast, I want to select a few elite individuals to accompany Qing Ni into the training grounds. Qing Hua replied, telling the president not to worry. He had already instructed his son to give his absolute all during competition. Immediately after, the crowd swarmed around Qing Ni to offer congratulations. Happy birthday, Qing Ni. We hope you enjoy it. She calmly thanked them. Searching the room, she spotted Li Luo and Qing Yi talking together. She stood perfectly still, watching him silently from a distance while whispering his name. Seeing this, Hongxi frowned and began thinking, regardless of our history, because of that marriage contract, I will never accept this brat Li Luo. He is not the one. But Qing Ni is at a rebellious age, so I must be careful. Her eyes grew sharp as she began thinking. As for what Qing Hua said, I've already discussed it with his elders. Once these elite talents spend time with her, Li Luo's influence will naturally fade. Hongxi was certain that no matter how gifted a first-stage general's son might be, he would never obtain the key. The crowd continued chatting in high spirits. He Jiu approached with a glass, wishing Qing Ni a happy birthday and hoping she wouldn't hold their previous encounter against him. Qing Ni raised her glass and answered with a polite smile. She then waved goodbye, saying she needed to greet other guests. He watched her leave, betting she was off to find Li Luo. Even back at the academy, those two were always close. Ning Zhao snorted, clearly annoyed. He claimed that she and Li Luo were nothing more than ordinary friends. Plus, since they both came from Nanfang Academy, it makes sense they would be tight. Cao calmly added, that might be it. Although, she did spend a lot of time buying that guy Li Luo his breakfast. Hearing that gave Ning Zhao a headache. Zhu Zhuan leaned against the wall, wine in hand, mentioning her past in Tianshu. Her perspective was limited back then. Now that she is in Doxia City, she has seen much more of the world. Those old ways of thinking are bound to change eventually. He confidently claimed that once he secured a dragon key and took her to the Golden Dragon training grounds, things would naturally start to shift. Ning Zhao frowned, realizing that this guy, Zhu Zhuan, was the real threat to his plans. If I let him get close to her, my chances of winning her over are going to plummet, he grumbled to himself, annoyed that the president used those dragon keys as a prize. Now, my status as the son of a high-ranking official does not give me any advantage. Than Ni walked over to the three of them. Greetings, Princess, and you too, Senior Zheng. Luan Wu immediately offered her congratulations. Happy birthday, Than Ni. She smiled back. There are so many guests today, please forgive me if I have been a bit distracted. She turned toward Li Luo and added, I actually invited the others, but they all turned me down. He replied, you know them. They just are not fans of these formal scenes. It is not like they did not want to come. Than Ni looked surprised when he added, do not worry about it. Once the break ends, and we are back at the academy, I will get everyone together to celebrate with you again. Her face turned bright red as she shyly replied, we will see. Than Ni looked at Li Luo and asked, are you really that interested in the dragon key? He gave her a wide smile and asked her right back, is there anyone here at the master level who would not be interested in something like that? She let out a soft sigh. I originally wanted to just ask my mother to give a key directly to Li Luo. I never thought my mother would turn it into the highlight of the birthday party. Well, good luck then, Li Luo. Luan Wu glanced over at Than Nga, who could not help but let out a small sigh. Watching Than Ni and Li Luo laughing together, she thought to herself, this Li Luo is really nothing like his father. How on earth did he manage to catch the eye of so many noble ladies in Doxia? Just then, a voice rang out. Distinguished guests, please join us in welcoming President Yu to the stage for a few words. The spotlight immediately focused on the figure on the stage. Honka stood there and said, "Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to celebrate my daughter. I know many talented young people are here today. So I have brought out several golden dragon keys as the highlight of tonight's banquet." She held up a golden dragon key in her hand and said, "Anyone who meets the requirements of the Master Realm is welcome to give it a try." Li Luo looked on curiously. "Is this the golden dragon key? Wow, even though it is only for the outer layers." Even those powerful Duke Realm experts seem very interested. Than Nga looked in that direction and analyzed the situation. The Golden Dragon training ground is truly beyond imagination. Just how massive is the Golden Dragon Bank to be able to create a cultivation holy land like this? Her eyes turned thoughtful. It seemed the sheer power of the Golden Dragon Bank made even the princess feel somewhat helpless. But a strong woman like her probably does not need any empty comfort. Then Than Nga turned to Li Luo and asked, "Is the pressure of the competition getting to you?" He sighed deeply. "This competition feels a bit unfair, to be honest. Those third-stage guys like Zhu Zhuan and the Quuding could easily crush me." She immediately added, "I suspect this competition won't be settled by direct combat." Luan Wu agreed with her, lifting her wine glass in a toast. "Exactly. It is a birthday party, so a real fight would be inappropriate. The challenge will likely be something else entirely." Hong Kei stood tall and announced, "The way to win the Golden Dragon Key today won't involve blades or spears, but something else entirely." Her voice rang out clearly. Entering the Golden Dragon training ground is not without risk. You will face the Azir Gale, a storm born from raw elemental energy. Even though the Dragon Key provides some protection, the Gale will still pose a significant threat to all of you. Therefore, the competition for the keys today will involve simulating an Azir Gale strike. She looked toward the group and added, "If you want to win, all you have to do is step into that zone. If you are the last one standing in the Azure Gale I release, the key is yours." Li Luo was startled. "Exactly as I thought. For a high-level team like ours, this should not be a problem at all." A magic circle appeared as Honka's voice rang out. "Young talents, please step forward." Seeing this, he smiled, realizing exactly what was happening. So that's how it is. Going head-on is basically suicide. But if we're talking about who can take a beating longer, well, that's a whole different story. Getting kicked around lately actually helped me create a body-hardening technique. It's the perfect timing to finally put it to the test. Than Nga tells me not to thank her. I just glare. This girl is unbelievable. She pummels me for days on end, and then acts like she's doing a favor. Everyone steps inside the magic circle. Than Ni clenches her fists, cheering me on with every ounce of her strength. "Li Luo, you've got this." Hong Shi sighs softly. Her eyes filled with genuine worry for what's about to happen. "Li Taijuan, look at this brat you raised. I will never allow this kid to trick our sweet Than Ni into going anywhere with him." As the group stands still inside the ring, Li Luo looks over, letting out a confused hum of curiosity. I nudged Zhu Lu with my elbow. "You actually showed up to a party like this. Are you here for the Golden Dragon's secret food?" He shoots me a look, clearly annoyed. "No way," Zhu Lu snaps, looking miserable. "My father forced me to come. He threatened to drag me to a brothel. If I didn't show my face here tonight, I'm stunned." That's brutal. He's basically pushing Qinju Lu into a corner. Is he even his biological son? Who does that to their own kid? Right then, Hongxi calls out from the stage. She raises the bottle high, announcing the start with a confident smile. "No more words. Let us begin," with a gentle flick of her finger against the bottle's rim. Streaks of blue light suddenly erupt into the air. Zhu stands frozen, his face tight with tension. The crowd whispers, as they watch the powerful flames erupting from his body in waves. Look at Master Jiu, an 8th rank fire soul. His raw power is absolutely staggering to witness. Blue light glows from someone else nearby. Meanwhile, Ning Zhao radiates a golden aura, bracing himself against the fierce gusts of wind howling toward them. Zhu Zhuan glances back. Shen Lang grunts in pain, his brow furrowed. This gale is something else entirely. The person glowing in gold nods. It's pure piercing damage. The wind slams into me next. I grit my teeth, trying to make sense of the power. This wind is brutal. Even after Hong, she suppressed its power. The force is still overwhelming for all of us. It still cuts right through our energy defenses with ease. If this is just the beginning, how terrifying will its full power actually be? This is only getting started. The wind howls against those inside the circle. The spectators gasp, seeing Zhu Zhuan still standing tall and unmoving against the pressure. Just look at him. Zhu Zhuan is incredible. He's definitely earned his title as the captain of the elite fire squad. He's right on the front line and hasn't budged an inch. Someone leans toward Than Ho, praising his son for being such a legendary talent. He beams with pride. Of course he is. Behind them, Beizhuan curses loudly. Damn it, hold your ground. Any more and you're out of the circle. He glares sideways in surprise, letting out a soft grunt of confusion. Beizhuan spots me and yells my name. Blood drips from his mouth as he sneers. Looks like you're getting kicked out before any of us. Li Luo. I snap back, frustrated. You look like a mess yourself. How can you even think about talking down to me right now? I grit my teeth and push him out of my mind. Forget that jerk. I turn my focus toward Zhu Lu, who's currently glowing orange. I watch him closely. He hasn't taken a single step back since this whole thing started. He's relying entirely on his physical strength. His 8th rank golden fox soul is the only reason he's still standing in this wind. Than Nga watches the scene from the outside. Next to her, Luan Wu speaks up with worry. Li Luo's energy level is much lower than Zhu. That puts him at a huge disadvantage. Than Nga isn't buying it. It's way too early to start jumping to conclusions like that, she says. Luan Wu smiles slightly. So Li Luo has a hidden trump card up his sleeve. Now, I'm actually starting to get curious. Than Ni is standing close by, her eyes locked on Li Luo. She whispers his name under her breath, her fists clenched tight with hope. If I can't manage to secure a piece of the golden dragon marrow here, I'll just have to figure out a way to take it from someone else. She rubs her temples, her brow furrowed in deep thought. Come on, think. Which official's daughter around here is the easiest one to trick? The crowd outside starts whispering immediately. Li Luo is already about to be pushed out. Is the show over for him already? More praise echoes from the back. Master Jiu is so steady. Than Ho smiles widely. I told him, even if you're being crushed, you do not leave that circle. I grip my teeth hard. I've reached my absolute limit. I can't step back anymore. It has to be now or never. Suddenly, a vibrant blue light erupts from my body as I activate my hardening technique. Waves of blue energy swirl rapidly around me, condensing right into the center of my chest. I press my lips thin. My legs begin to glow as I stomp down hard on the ground. Then, I lunge forward with everything I have. My entire body radiates light as I let out a defiant, powerful roar. Zhu Zhuan's eyes go wide when I suddenly appear beside him. Li Luo, how is this possible? The entire crowd stares back in utter disbelief. This guy has decent combat power with his dual souls, but this shouldn't be happening. There's no way he should be able to move against this gale. I stand there, expression grim. Nearby, Jiu watches me, his body glowing red. He's actually moving forward. Li Luo never fails to keep things interesting. A small smile touches my lips. I really want to go all out against him someday. Li Luo gritted his teeth and yelled, "Old Chin, hold your ground." Hongxi clutched the bottle, muttering, "The golden dragon treasure hinges on the next round." Right then, a violent gale, fiercer than ever, slammed into the crowd with massive force. The crowd outside started screaming, "Here it comes!" The most brutal wind is about to explode, and this will determine the final result. They looked toward Jiu Xuan, noting that both Zhu Hong and the Kuding were currently leading. They looked back at the group in the rear and said, "Those in the second row are outsiders from Astral Academy. Their strength, nurtured by powerful factions, is actually incredibly formidable and tough." Excited shouts erupted because Wang He Jiu and Duzbak Suan were about to be eliminated. Everyone understood that, but then the crowd started whispering while staring at Li Luo and Qin Julo. These two are clearly the weakest here. Why are they standing in the third row with the top students of Astral Academy? There are truly so many of them. Hongxi watched and thought that by now, the boy was running on empty. "Li Luo, your time for acting tough is finally over." Suddenly, a more violent gust slammed in, making those behind Zhu Xuan scream. Qinghua froze as the crowd yelled, "Master Jiu is retreating. Don't underestimate the president's powerful gale." People inside were tossed by the wind, gritting teeth and screaming, "This is bad. Stay steady." Baksuan was blown backward, cursing loudly, "Damn it!" Li Luo and Julu glowed with energy, forcing themselves to stand still. Julu's eyes went wide as he released a powerful roar of energy. Li Luo cried out in alarm, seeing the boy was relying purely on grit to hold on. His legs braced hard, and Li Luo clenched his fists with everything he had. Standing still, he realized this was bad. Under this brutal assault, his body's energy was draining at an absolutely terrifying, incredible rate. Li Luo gritted his teeth, calculating based on this rapid drain. The problem was, he might not survive until this wind finally ended. Just then, another powerful blast of wind slammed into them again. Baksuan screamed in panic, "No!" He was suddenly tossed far away, yelling, "Damn it," in absolute terror. A hand reached out to steady him, and he turned back to look at Hong Lian. "Sister, how is Li Luo still standing against such a powerful gale? This makes no sense." She cut him off coldly. "Look closer." Hong Lian frowned, pointing it out. "His wounds heal quickly. It seems my guess was actually right. This is the healing power of his water and wood resonances. He has dual resonances, providing two sources of healing power that massively boost his recovery." She looked at Li Luo inside and explained, "This is the main reason why he can stand much longer than you." Hearing this, Baksuan glared at Li Luo with pure rage. Suddenly, an idea struck him. Baksuan's eyes lit up as he flashed a truly wicked smile. Only 4 people remained inside that magic circle. The crowd watched Zhu Xuan, Zhu Hong, and the Kuding, noting their massive resonance power. Kuding frowned while listening to the noise. Although he was struggling, it felt like he could hold on. They stared at Julu's fierce face and yelled, "Qin Julu might be fine, but he really looks absolutely terrifying and savage right now." The crowd looked inside together, thinking, "Those 3 are fine, but that other guy is the problem." Seeing Li Luo's pale face as he struggled to stand, they worriedly thought he looked like he was about to collapse. Kinger cried out in worry, while Jiang King beside her also watched him with deep concern. She clutched her bottle, thinking in surprise, "The fact that this kid has lasted this long is actually quite unexpected." but his journey probably ends right here for good. Watching the four inside the magic circle, she mused that his water and wood resonances would naturally boost his internal recovery power significantly. But since he is only at the first stage of the general level, I bet he can only last 30 more breaths before being blown out completely. Hong Ji's expression darkened as she snorted coldly. Don Thailand, your brat is about to be blown away. Nearby, Li Luo gritted his teeth as his legs continued to shake uncontrollably. Li Luo groaned internally. I can't do it. I've reached my limit. Yet he felt strangely calm as he thought, I feel incredibly peaceful. It is almost here. Right after, Li Luo sensed the energy flowing inside his body and said, now is the time. This breakthrough feeling I have been suppressing for days is finally ready. Bercy stared at the two energies and screamed, release it all right now. Next, massive energy erupted from Li Luo as a bright blue light suddenly appeared, radiating everywhere. Hong, she cried out in shock. What? Luan Wu also stared intently at Li Luo. Other people whispered in total panic. Look at Li Luo. He actually... Hong, she stared at him, shouting in shock. He actually used the pressure of the gale to break through to the second stage of the general level. Seeing this, King smiled slightly. The powerful wind immediately surged toward the rest of the people remaining inside the circle. Seeing this, Baksuan cursed angrily. That bastard did it again. Hong Lian shook her head and disagreed. There is a difference. Last time it was on a whim, but this time, I feel he has been planning this for a long time. She frowned, pointing it out. Li Luo's breakthrough was suspiciously smooth. He definitely suppressed his power on purpose before this. Hearing the chatter, he just stood there,